Okay. Got to here. 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? This is the poker coaching study session. Today, we're going to be looking at
A bread and butter spot, just cutoff or button steals, and the big blind defends. Let's see how people actually play it compared to the way the solver says they should. And we'll see if we can tune our strategy and our intuitions better. So I'll go first. Here we go. This hand should fold around to the button, who on a queen 9 should be raising 100% of the time. And the 4-6 should fold, and the ace 10 offsuit should do a little bit of 3-betting and no calling. Let's see what they do. I raise to 2.5. The small blind calls, and they both call. So this 4-6 call is a real mistake. The solver would never do it. And the thing that we want to learn from this is that the more people in the pot, the tighter we play our big blind, not the looser. We don't look at the express odds. We look at the implied odds, and our implied odds are terrible. They are reverse implied odds, but that's what happens. Flop comes down ace high. The ace 10 should check with the ace of spades. He can check raise, and he can also check call, but he should check. He does. The 4-6 checks. And with my second pair in a multi-way pot, I should check this and not bet. Let's see what I do. I check. Good for me. He's spade drawing up. He bets 5, 4-6 with a straight draw. Should probably just fold the ignorant end, especially with the fact that someone could have a flush. They probably don't, and he could be drawing dead. He folds. And with my second pair here, I should do some folding and a little bit of calling. To the bigger size, I think I should mostly just fold. Let's see. I just folded. All right, good enough. Bogdan, you're next.
Okay, let's see. Ace jack off. Nice, lovely. Would have raised a little bit more, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you can raise to 3. The thing we don't want to do
about that.
Yeah, we don't want to split our range based on our hand value. So we don't want to like raise ace jack bigger than we raise ace 9, but we can raise everything to 3 big blinds. That's a fine strategy. That's the peak GTO strategy. 2.5 also works. Or you can make some changes like bet a little smaller, bet 2 or 2.2 in the early positions, then 2.5 here, then 3 on the button. All those make sense. I'm going to do a flat 2.5 everywhere. It's just the range that I know, and it works fine online. All right, so I raise. What should happen?
B2 folds.
Yep, they should both fold. And Bogdan, who's going to call here?
No one.
All right.
Should. No one should, but
Shouldn't.
one with 8-7 does call, and I guess it would a bit more.
Right. And 9-3 at least folds correctly. All right, here we go.
Okay, dokie. I will still continue the aggression even though he hit a pair. And I wouldn't be aware of it. You know, I will still bet something.
Right. So 8-7 should check. Right. And you want to see bet this flop?
Yeah, I would like 3.
Okay. Big or
Pot.
small?
Half pot.
Half pot. Okay. I just go for the straight up check.
Or check, yeah. If I don't hit anything and I'm like, okay, let's see if I can go to a straight or something like that, even by thinking about it. So maybe I see a king or a queen, you know.
All right.
I would also check in certain situations, but yeah, sometimes I'm raising even though I didn't hit it.
That's okay. Yep. What should 8-7 do here? And what do you expect them to do?
I'm expecting to either try to steal the pot because he doesn't have the club. So yeah, a bet. But he also can represent the 2 pairs idea. I would also consider it, you know, a 10 and a 7. He might have it. It's highly possible. Or even a dangerous 5, you know. And I'd be like, okay, what do you want to do with this? Let's see.
Yeah. And then
I guess you called it, yeah?
I did. Ace high is still beats flush draws, still beats straight draws.
All right, that's true.
Doesn't beat full houses though.
Oh my God. Does he jam it?
Well, what size would you like? So what size do you think he should bet? Or do you think he should check and trap? And what do you expect him to do? So those are my questions.
Okay, so I'm thinking about the idea of betting something because
Okay.
I also have some plus, some I don't know 5 that he can beat, or the 10.
Yeah.
He can easily beat. So I guess he would bet something, expecting me to raise it.
Okay. So do a
That's
small block bet and
it,
hope for a raise.
yeah, jam it afterwards, no?
Yeah.
Or I don't know, we raise it.
So he goes 4 and I just call him.
Ah,
a
you
jam.
just fold it,
Okay.
yeah. Makes sense, of course.
Here we go. He picked it up. So the thing, aside from the fact that I'm a calling station and don't play well, to learn from this is that if you look at any solver range, 8-7 offsuit is nowhere near in the small blinds range, right?
Right, it shouldn't be, yeah.
But it is close to the big blinds range. So if you look at here, I mean, it's not, if you look at here, I'm the button raises, and the big blind with the 8-7 offsuit, it doesn't play it, but it plays the 10-9 there, and if this
Mm.
was an even smaller raise, if I raised it to only 2, the big blind starts to come in with, starts to come in with hands light with an 8-7, right?
8-7 off, 9-7 off, I see.
8-7 off. So the 8-7 off, while it's a bad play, to 2.5, it's not a terrible play in the big blind to 2.25 kind of thing. So how they're playing.
So
So
now a question for you, Scotty.
Yeah.
I know for bet from the pre-flop,
mhm.
like 4, 3, 4 directly. Wouldn't
Yeah.
overthrow him instantly. Shouldn't he drop it?
If on the flop, I bet big.
Pre-flop, not
Oh,
flop.
pre-flop. Oh, if I go bigger, yeah, he'll
Yeah.
fold if I go bigger. He might. I mean, we don't know the guy. We're gonna see. So
Yeah, exactly. Makes sense. Yeah.
so the reason for choosing a 3 is, to get fewer of these calls. The reason not to is these calls are not profitable for them. I mean, it was this hand, but in general, it's
Yeah.
not going to be.
Exactly.
But the lesson I think to take away from this is that that when you see somebody with a calling range in the small blind, rather than put them on this range here, let's open this up. Here we go. Rather than expect them to have this calling range here,
Mhm.
this is a lot closer to the calling range they're going to have. They're playing the small blind like a big blind is the thing that we've discovered. And so that's how we think about it more often until they show that they are a good player who has a very well-defined calling range in the
Mhm.
small blind. We're going to assume they're a bad player playing a range much more like this. That's going to be our first exploit. All right. A+, you are up next with this
Thank you, Scott.
nonsense.
So where am I?
You're going to just go through and see what they should do. In all of these, there's going to be a shortcut. Everybody's going to fold to either the cutoff or the button. We know that because these are all filtered for steals and defends. So all these hands are going to be that. So
No.
everybody folds, and then which of these guys decides to raise? And should they?
You should. So everyone's gonna fold around. If villain 134 might be loose and might raise that 3-4.
Oh, it turns out the small blind, it counts the small. I didn't know that small blinds counts as steals. All right. So everybody played it right.
Oh, he folded. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought he raised. All right. Yeah. Okay. Then ace-3 raises and big blind calls. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Well,
There we go.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good call. That's a good defense.
I
What
did
next?
the other day. So 6 queen. I mean, you have ace blocks the king. How fast did he call?
We don't know. It's
That-
online.
No, and you don't really have any stats on him at all.
No. No, it's firsthand.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I probably put out a small bet here based on the ace.
Yep.
So I put out a small bet there. See-
Gotcha. So I went a little big,
Mhm.
probably unnecessary. Ooh,
And he calls.
yeah. Now we know something about how he's going to play. So, oh, he's got
Okay.
the 6. That's a good
Yep.
call. I didn't see a 6. Of course, that's a great call. Yeah, he did the right thing.
Queen 10-9. I'm not messing with that 10 or that 9. I check there because that 9 is too connected.
Yep.
The call, so I check here.
And now you're the jack six. Do you want to check behind or do you want to?
Oh, I check the jack. Well, you know what? The jack 6 now is fourth. It's fourth pair. I just check it.
Okay, he does.
And the ace comes out. I think I have to bet this small for equity. I can't go too big because the straights out there, a lot of 2 pairs out there, and the flushes out there. So I probably just bet this small.
And what size is small?
Was it 12 point? 4 maybe, 4 big blinds.
Yeah.
You and 8.
I think 4 is probably better than 8. I think I think your choice was better than mine. There. Okay. But we do that and we get the fold either way. All right. All right. After that was A plus who just did it. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, great. Up next is Dan Dan. I give you this, Dan Dan.
Right. Awesome. 3-5. Who am I? Am I the hero?
Yep, you're just go through the things and see what you think people should do, and we'll see what they do.
All
So
right. Well,
just hand by hand, just look at it real quickly. Decide, are you gonna open king 10 there? If not, look at the next hand that you might open.
normally from his position where he shouldn't theoretically open, but he could. With
Yeah.
these cards,
He
he could
folds.
open, but he shouldn't. All right, and it's what is that hijack before me?
King Jack and the low jack. King Jack and the low jack. Do you like this?
Okay,
fold?
king jack in the low jack, then he should open at least
Yeah, I
the
think so too.
the 2 blinds.
Yeah, I think King Jack should open and King 10 should mix a lot of folds in the low jack.
And for me, honestly, yeah, after the
Fold.
7-8, I would fold. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, fold.
Right.
It was an easy one.
Now, keep going. 4s.
The 4s with the pairs, they at least he should open also from the position of the big blind.
I agree. Yep.
They should do some moves to at least throw them away if they don't pay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. Good. Deuce
Yeah,
3
fold,
fold. What should 7-4 do?
call, both of them.
Okay, I think the 7-4 here should not call. I think this should just be a pure fold here. And I think the 5-6 should call and mix raises both. Let's see what he does.
No,
He
they're
does call.
both pretty similar because they're both suited and in for a possible straight draw.
They
for
are,
both of them.
but here's the
They're-
difference. Here's
Okay,
the
tell me.
here's the important differences. The
Okay.
5-6 closes the
Mhm.
action. He knows that he's going to get to see the flop. The 7-4, when he calls, incentivizes a good player in the big blind to squeeze him. He also
Okay, makes
gives,
sense.
give,
Yeah.
give the player in the big blind better odds to call, putting himself out of position against 2 players. So he needs to be.
Actually, I'm doing this mistake often, yeah.
Yep.
That
Plus-
I call here and then the big blind, he just triple bets or something like this and then I fold.
Yep. Plus, the other thing that happens is you're only in for a half a big blind. So your discount is a lot less than this guy's discount.
True.
Percentage, I mean. So this 7-4 is a really good fold. And to show you that range, we'll do the range in peak for fun. So
Yes,
this was
please.
a button raise, right? It was button
Yeah.
raise to 2.5. So we'll use the 2.5 size here. Here's our 2.5 size, button raise, and look at what that small blind does to that button raise. with
Yeah,
hands.
I also saw the example before and I
Yeah.
agree. I usually also take in consideration that it's only half a
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And this is,
half a big blind in the
Yep.
pot, so it's not so
Yeah.
dedicated in the
exactly. So while there's no reason to play GTO against non-GTO players, it's not your best choice. This is so far off GTO, you don't want to do it.
I get it.
The things that would lead you to have a calling range in the small blind is if you know the big blind is not a squeezer, if the big blind is a recreational player who only raises his good hands. You know,
Okay, yeah.
you've got a hand like pocket 4s, 5s, 6s, and you go, I'm almost getting to see the flop all the time. He rarely squeezes me. Then you could start to develop a calling range, but you want to make sure that the person in the big blind is not me or Mike or Jonathan Little. And I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
saying that
always-
me, Mike, and Jonathan Little are the same level of player. We're not. Mike is way
Okay,
better.
Mm-hmm.
but,
from your poker tracker statistics, he
but
doesn't
all,
seem like a recreational player.
yeah, all the good players all the good players here are going to be squeezing you a lot in your small blind. Then the other thing is, even when you do get to see the flop, you're out of position against two players, which is just terrible. So
Yeah.
tighten up your small blind. And the thing that we've decided for a while, if you're playing in a raked game, is to just do a 3-better fold strategy from the small blind. Don't have any calls and just simplify your,
Okay.
that, you don't have to do that. There's an intelligent way to play better, but I'm simplifying my life and playing 3-better fold in raked games.
No, it's a good advice, yeah, actually.
Okay, good. So he folds. There we go. And there is the big blind with his 5-6 suited, which he calls, which is
Mm.
perfectly fine. But the thing to notice is in that big blind,
7-4 is Monday.
just how much raising there is also with that strip down there. So always be
Nice.
aware that you want to do some raising here. This time he does the call. Let's go to a flop. What should the 5-6 do?
Uh, 5-6 should chill a little bit for now because the draw is more favorable for a
Yep.
little straight or for a flush. So
Exactly.
you should check.
So he checks.
Yeah. And I would honestly bet like half a pot
Okay.
just to keep things interesting and to throw off maybe some possible straight like a
Mhm.
king of spades or so that
Yep.
they might be just looking around.
Yeah. Okay. So he bets a little over half pot.
Yeah.
And so he's basically saying, I want to get maximum value from aces and flush draws, and I'm not going to try to keep in pocket fives so much or keep somebody in with a 7-9.
Exactly.
Okay, great. And it works. He gets the call. Great.
Now with the three of a kind, with the fours, you are in a pretty good position. You have very good equity, I think, in front of. There is no more threat from the straight draw or not so big from the straight and from the flush draw.
Yeah.
So you can now maybe just lure him in for like 33% of the pot. Hopefully that he's gonna continue paying.
Gotcha. So but the first thing that happens is the 5-6 is going to check. Let's make sure we have that step.
Check for sure, yeah.
Yep. So you could be betting small here to try to keep in
Yeah.
hands like pocket sevens, a 6, let's say 6, 7, 5, 6, something like that. Or because you unblock the ace, you could push here. This would be a perfectly fine hand to go
Yeah.
anywhere from 75%
Surely.
to 150% targeting an ace, or about a third targeting a hand like what you have. Let's see which one he did. He
Okay,
goes
he
for the
just
ace.
blocked him away.
Yep. And that seems fine.
He's not
Yeah.
risking it. But
5-6.
fine. Yeah, I would have honestly lured him in for another card. Like I would have bet 33%, and I would hope that he's gonna call me to
Yeah.
make more money on this end.
Yep. And
Because
again,
it's complicated from here, straw or straight or draw or flush. It's pretty complicated with the river.
so the size of your bet here is, I'm going to assume we'll look at this in the solver really quick. But what I'm assuming is that he's going to have a variety of sizes here, each targeting a different part of your opponent's range to do different things. So let's take a quick look at that before we go on. All right. So we're going to do this in peak. So peak has no rake involved. This is a straight up chippy V solver, but the answers here are going to be just fine. So against a 3 blind raise, there we goes. Our 5-6 calls and mixes. This time we're going to
Yeah.
call. We get the flop of ace, 6-4 of spades, ace of clubs. 6-4 of spades, ace of clubs, and big blinds just checks range. It is the simplification that peak has in it, and that's a good wise one. So here we are with pocket fours, and we virtually never slow play it. We bet it all the time because we unblock the ace. The primary size is the 2, and this guy went 3.9, I think. Yeah, 3.9. So we're going to call 3.9 is closer to 4.6. We're going to give him a big bet there.
Mhm.
All right. And the 5-6 does not fold yet. Goes no. Does not,
Yeah.
even to this bigger size, does not fold. He calls. Turn is the
This
nine
doesn't make sense.
of hearts. Again, checking range. Pocket nines check, all our aces check, ace nine, check range.
Pocket nines check. You
They
then
check, yep, they're
check.
continuing to trap. They're gonna maybe go for a check raise here. Now the fours, first thing important about the fours is they never slow play in GTO world here. And I think that's wise. And their sizes mix, and the sizes that they mix are
Look, I also see that option of
9.4,
betting for
Yeah.
3.9.
9.4 and 15 into a pot of 15. So they're doing a just over half pot and pot. So at this point, we're not trying to get a 6 or a 4 to call anymore and put a little bit more money in. We're trying to get an ace to put a lot of money in. So he goes 18,
Okay.
the 18,
Okay, I got it.
which is the equivalent of 15. Yeah.
But if one curious question here with the hand of fours.
Yeah.
I agree with Dominic with what he said in the chat that the villain played it perfectly. But I'm curious about the size, the betting size. If he would have chosen like, let's say 7, 8, 9 blinds, I'm thinking the guy with the 6 would have paid it still.
Yeah. There is, I'm going to move I have this is covering, the meeting chat is covering my thing right now. So I got to move it. Okay.
Do your thing, it's okay.
Yeah.
No stress. I'm just thinking about it. Couldn't we extract more value with like a slightly smaller bet in that position?
Absolutely. But
It felt like they try to overthrow them, directly to fold the hand.
right. So absolutely. I mean, you could bet 3 big blinds here and get called by a lot of stuff, but it's only 3 big blinds. And
Mhm.
mathematically, very often, as Larry says, magnitude trumps frequency, meaning if it's a board where he has 30% of his calls are going to be aces there, and will put in a lot of money, and 70% of his calls will be crappy hands like this that are going to put in almost no money. Better to get the folds from the no money and get the bigger money from the aces. That it works out. So both things are going on there. This one turns out to be better. And as you can see here, the solver does do that. Because otherwise it would
Yeah.
have no 3.9s. These
Yeah,
3.9s
sure.
wouldn't exist if if there was no reason to do it. So the 9.4 gets a 9 to call, gets king.
Also, we need protection.
Not really. Because the protection you're getting is from a flush draw and they're not folding. You're just going to lose a bunch of money when the flush comes in if it's not the 9 of spades or the ace.
When you pot it, I don't think they're calling all his flush draws. Also, you need protection from the straight draws that are folding to a big bet.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And you don't want them to continue for the small sizing.
Yep. All right. So there's that. That was Dan. Up next is Tura.
Thank you.
Tura is up next. And Tura, you get this nonsense.
King, jack off should open.
Right,
And
there we go.
ace 4 off is probably a fold.
When you defend with ace 4 off here, do you want to defend, what's your ratio? Like, do you want to defend by calling? Do you have any raises? Ace 4 to the button?
I'm never raising, and I'm only calling to a weaker player.
Okay, which this guy believes I am. So he's seen some of these sessions on YouTube, so he knows how weak I am. And quick thing, in that 2.5, there's our button raise, and in our big blind strategy, the ace 4 doesn't fold much, but it mostly defends by raising, not by calling. But this is certainly not going to break a solver and is fine. There we go.
Check, check. And I would keep checking with my weak ace, and I would probably start betting with my gut shot.
Sounds good. What size do you want to bet the gut shot? How many big blinds? About?
You can probably get away by betting small,
Okay,
like
and what,
delay c-bet.
right, and what size is small for you here?
33%.
Okay. All right. I did the check on the idea that that maybe bet the king 10 here and the jack 10 gut shots, but check the king
Yeah.
jack shot since it's the nothing, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's good or not, but it's what I
yeah,
did.
I think it's good.
Yeah.
And when villain checked twice,
Mhm.
I expect him to have a showdown value hand, so I would value bet my ace.
Okay. Right. So he goes for value
And
and
king jack.
right, and there I am. I once again show how weak a player I am and a calling station and give away.
That seems fine,
Yeah,
as long as the villain can find enough bluffs.
and they probably don't. I'm probably better off not heroing stuff like a king there. I should probably be heroing starting with a queen. Pocket kings, you know, that I've protected from the ace, something like that. Pocket pairs, sure. I think that this is probably unnecessary. All right. Dominic, you're up.
Hello. All right. Okay. So this queen 9, this is middle position basically, right? I
Mhm.
mean, I would ask myself if these guys on my left are gonna overcall or over 3-bet or something like that. And if one of those questions is yes, I would just fold queen 9 here. If they are a bit nitty or if they're under 3-betting, I'm gonna open queen 9. I think it's very close. I think folding is perfectly fine. I would probably fold at higher frequency. Jack 7 pure open here, and Jack 7 here. Yeah, I think very high frequency call too.
Yep.
Then I'm from small blind. I mean, myself, I'm just range checking everything and playing like that.
Okay.
That's just my way of playing. But I think small bet is, I guess, okay. But with our specific hand, we're kind of fun blocking the calls a lot. I think I would just check anyways. But like I said, I would check here with aces. I would check here with anything and play from that. But
That's a fine way to do it, just to check.
yeah, I just simplify and play like that. It's
Yeah.
easy.
I'm not doing that yet, but that's fine. I'm betting it on it.
Okay.
Because it's a.
I think this is reasonable too. I just think when you're range checking, it's just you give villains opportunity to make a mistake a bit easier, but yeah,
Yep.
it's fine.
Range checking.
Then
It's fine. Yeah.
here with Jack 7, yeah, I think let me see. Yeah, we're blind with blind. We need to call this. It's close,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think we need to
Absolutely.
call. Then with Jack 7, yeah, we now get in this stupid spot because we bet the flop. I don't know, like, I mean, we do improve with the weight a little bit, so I guess I would keep barreling.
We don't
Yeah.
improve.
Do we
the
improve?
same 10. We have this, it's the same straight draw. He improves.
Yeah, it's the same with so, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird spot. I would never be in this spot in small blind. That's the problem. I'm not sure what I would do.
Well,
Not
that's
that
what I-
good. Yeah, I guess I bet is fine too. Yeah, whatever. And then with Jack, I think this is like pure call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I would raise.
He certainly can't fold.
Yeah, of course. I would just pure call this. And then on a 10, we have a straight, right?
Yep, we do. We lose to ace jack.
We lose to ace jack. Yeah, okay. I don't think I'm gonna overbet here. Interesting one. I don't know. Like the first thing it comes to mind is just like pot size bet or like B80 or something like that. Hoping to get called by some king 8 or something like that easily. Yeah, I think that sizing is very, very reasonable. And with Jack 7 here, the question is, do we jam or not? Yeah, I think it's perfectly fine to jam this hand, especially against some some whales, they are gonna call here with two pairs. They're not gonna be able to fold that. It really depends on the villain, but mainly just jamming this because I'm not gonna put the guy on ace jack instantly here. So yeah.
And if this SPR, it's pretty safe. You're only losing.
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
right? So
If he
it's
has
7
ace jack, sure, yeah.
Yeah, you're risking 32 more big blinds. You're not killing yourself. So
Yeah, I really like this jam. I don't expect to get paid plenty with like two pairs. I expect it to fold, but who knows? Maybe the guy is just sticky with set or something. If he has, yeah, I would always do it like this guy. I think
Yep.
it's fine.
the one mistake I think he made here though is I don't think he bet. I think he should be jam. If he's gonna raise, he should
He
jam.
didn't jam. He didn't jam.
Maybe-
Yeah, he should jam. Yeah, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's
I also
small
wanted to tell
difference.
you, he was nice to leave you something in your stack to not put
Yeah.
you all in.
Yeah, you guys paid a little bit less rake with like this.
Yeah, we did
but
do that.
it's
But
whatever.
the reason I think that he shouldn't do this is if I jam on him for the last 21, he can't fold, right?
Yeah, of course.
So he can only, so when he has the best hand, he can only win 44, but when he has the worst hand, he's gonna lose 66 because he can't fold. So because
Yeah, of course.
fold,
Yeah.
I think he has to bet the full amount.
Yeah. Simple.
That's what I think, and anyway, we split and we pay 3 big blinds of rake. Okay. There we go. And if anybody wants, if any of these, anybody wants to see in the solver when we do it, if there's something about it that he says, oh, I want to see that in the solver, just say it and we'll put it in. Larry, you're up.
Hey, gents, this RFI here in the button, and I think ace nine is often just a defend.
Yep, and ace nine against the button, ace nine never folds. Do we do any raising here?
I don't think we raise this region.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's some sort of
I
25.
think our three bets, yeah,
Yeah.
our three bet bluffs
Yeah.
are like ace five, I think.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. It's a 3 big blind open with rake. We're gonna look at it in GTO Wiz instead. Yeah, it mixes these shitty aces.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
find these.
That's fine. You know,
I've got domination PTSD.
so you're gonna 3-bet your ace queen pure. You're gonna call your ace 10 and your ace 9.
Yeah, I'm pretty linear here. I think when it comes to just ace X, I mean, we really in theory have a pretty polar strategy, button versus big blind, which I don't think many people have, including me, but
Yeah. What do you like?
um,
Ace 8.
ace queen is really on both sides, is really where I'm three betting, and then I'm also three betting ace five.
Mhm.
I think I am finding ace five off here.
Good. What are you doing with your ace 8?
I don't think I find a three bet with this region.
Do you play it though, or do you just fold it?
I play it.
Okay. So you would end up with a very good set of frequencies here if you called your ace jack, ace 10, and ace 9, folded your ace 8 pure, and raised your ace 5 pure. That would be a nice way to adjust this range.
Yeah.
To simplify it.
And then I move a lot of the
Yeah.
And then I move a lot of the suited regions into just the king X. So I'm not finding the jack 7 and the queen 7 and the queen 6,
Right.
but I'm finding queen 5 and queen 4 to higher freak.
Cool. So he calls perfectly fine.
So he checks, I assume. I think if I was jack 8, I would bet here on a king high flop.
Okay.
I think I would bet. Kind of mergey, because we have showdown. But I think I would probably bet like a third RB 75.
Are you going to bet range here? Are you betting because you have a jack, or are you betting because of your range?
I think we're betting a lot here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think our range is betting a lot.
Right. he
Checking
goes-
is fine.
Yeah, he goes for the check. And again, in the world of no rake. Button raises. This is a bigger raise.
I think
There's-
this has got a lot. I think we're doing a lot of betting here, but I'm not sure.
Right. And here's a range similar to the one you talked about,
Yeah.
no rake environment. He does the call, and we are on king, jack of hearts, seven of spades. So we're just gonna see if it's a range bet, because I wouldn't be surprised to see this
I
range
think it's
It's
likely
big.
a high freak.
button range, but yeah, let's see what it is. Not range bet, but almost every hand in range bets. All right, great. And our jack eight suited.
You know, probably, I guess we pick a problems. So,
It really likes to check. It really likes to check as much. Since we're not betting range, it really likes to check as a marginally
Yeah.
made. All right.
So villain 117 has a sliver of showdown and they don't have really any redraws. I think I would continue to check if I was in big blind here.
Mhm.
I kind of like a bet here. I think people check raise at too low a frequency. So I kind of like a bet here, taking over the betting in button, and I would use a big size. I would use like a B75.
Okay, cool. I like a bet.
Again, it's, I think, you know, you can argue it's a little mergy on this texture, but I like taking the betting and seeing what happens.
I like the bet here also, but I think the bet's small because the flush completed. So let's find out. We'll see what the solver does in a second. But
Yeah,
what
you're
he
probably
does
right.
Is he checks it behind saying it's still marginal and it's just going for showdown.
I think that's fine. Okay, so the other 117 is an interesting spot here because he
Yeah.
has a semblance of showdown, but the villain 119 is not showing any interest in this pot.
Yeah.
I think I would actually, at this point, lean towards a bet. I think often people are not going to protect their checking range with their flush draws
Mm-hmm.
on turn. And they're going to bet too much.
Yep.
Well, they're going to bet a lot, which I think is fine, but I think they're a little bit more, I think their bluffs are going to come from their one card to a flush. So, I think I would turn my ace high into a bet. And I would do a bluff and I would bet pot.
All right. I like your size there. He checks. And now this is super easy for 119.
Yeah, you just check back.
That's easy. Okay. All right. Let's see what the sizing on that turn is. Three of hearts. So here we are. We go check. It goes check. We pick up a three of hearts. And now this guy can do a lot of betting. His ace nine off really needs a heart. If you have a heart, even the nine of hearts, that's enough to bet. You need a heart to bet. He checks. And now the jack eight, having been promoted, second pair being promoted because he didn't bet twice, so the king is looking good, does this lovely mix. And the size is, that's the
Welcome.
important thing there, Larry.
Sorry, say it again.
So I like, so you were gonna bet your jack eight on the turn, which is perfectly fine, but it's the size.
Yeah,
Gotta
yeah,
go
that's
small
fine.
because
I mean,
flush.
I don't, yeah, okay.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
solver. limit. Now, in the real world, do you have a reason to, do you think there's a good reason to push the bet size up?
I don't think people check raise enough and I think, yeah, arguably people don't check raise enough. So
Okay.
I think it's, and I think it encourages, frankly, I think it encourages a check from out of position on river,
On
which
the
is what
river.
we really want with this marginal showdown.
It does one other good thing, which is you probably get clearer information. You probably make them play more straightforward with a bigger bet.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think
Yeah.
our check raises are more linear when
Um,
you take a big bet.
I'm still in general doing the smaller bet here.
Yeah, I might be just get tired of people
Yeah.
just playing street and saying that bet size
You bet
equals,
small, I raise, you screw you.
yeah, bet size equals hand strength and you bet small on this board. So you
Mhm.
must not have a flush, so I'm gonna check raise you. I might just getting sick of
But
that.
notice how often we bet, notice how much we bet the small size with a flush.
Yeah,
Ever?
of course. I mean, we are incredibly balanced here.
Yeah.
So the counter to what I just said is that you do the small, so I would do, so my marginal hands, I would bet big here and my nutted equity, which I'm sorry, my nutted made hands.
Mm-hmm.
Those I would bet small because I want to keep them in. And I
Okay.
also want to then induce check raises. I mean,
Right.
solver's got a balanced strategy where, if you looked at it, it would have a mix of both. It would have a bigger size with the top of its range, but it would also mix in bluffs and low equity and the vice versa. So I don't think we need to be balanced. So yeah, so I would bet small with the top of my range and I would bet big with the middling portion of my range here.
I agree, and I totally agree with your last sentence. We don't need to be balanced.
Yeah.
Dan says, anybody considering the bluff here? And that is, Dan, is that, you mean the check raise bluff from villain 117? Or-
Yes, on the last hand, the villain won 117.
Yeah.
Just to bet like 9 big blinds and take his jack to the moon.
Just right now, just bet right out.
Yeah, right here.
Yep. All right, so let's think about that. So bluffing is always nice. Let's think about let's see if there's anything in our hand that is a blocker to the bluff. So we're going to assume that because Jack 8 has never bet,
Exactly.
rather than he's so weak, we're going to assume that he has some weak showdown value, that's what he's doing. So what does he consider showdown value? He considers a Jack showdown value.
You think with
We
the
would
with
like
this
him to
with this
have-
flush draw?
We would like him to have a Jack here. And so the cards we don't want to have in our hand, I'm going to assume are.
But if you
Queens.
think about it, if you prove yourself throughout the game that you're a good player and that the showdown you always have value and you gain the showdowns, at one hand like this, I would honestly bluff him.
So let's just see which hands the solver chooses to bluff on that one. That's a good one. All right, so we are here and the big blind on the river. So lots of flushes, obviously, are going to be betting, but those are not bluffs. What are, okay, so the easy bluffs to find are the ace of hearts,
You're on the turn.
right? The jack of hearts doesn't exist. So it's on the board. So, but here we go. So this is ace jack. That's value. Can't do that one. Sorry. Let's find a real piece of shit ace. Ace 8. Any heart on the river. Oh, that's not even bluffs. So sorry.
You're on the turn.
Oh, I'm on the turn. Good. Okay, thank you. So we want to be on the river is where the bluff comes from. Okay, here we go. River. And the river was the 9 of hearts, I believe, right?
Queen of hearts.
Queen of hearts. Thank you. Queen of hearts. All right. Now, what are the bluffs here? So don't look in this region. Every heart is value here. So we need hands that have no hearts in them. No hearts and no pairs. So when we have ace 9 offsuit, does not like it with this hand. It's not, it exists, but it doesn't like ace 9. Where's a hand that it wants to bluff? It likes bluffing ace 5. So shittier down there. Ace 9 is almost all value. Ace 8 is all value. Ace 7 is all pseudo value, but ace 5 bluffs. On the king side, the queens are a pair. We get down to Jack 10. Jack 10 is a pair.
But as I said, as I told you, if in real life, if you put it in a scenario where you play well and you at the showdown you have always the winning hand, I think that you could influence a hand like this to just steal the pot.
Yeah. So in the offsuit branch, we always have a pair. Or we have, we have the ace high here. We just don't. Oh, the ace and ace 10 is a straight, of course. Yeah, everything here is a pair. So we got to look in the suited branch for non-hearts. Ace 9 doesn't hate the bluff, but who likes it? Who likes to bluff here? Shitty hands like ace 4 to get better aces to fold. You want to be really shitty.
I would like to bluff.
Okay.
As I see
You're
it,
gonna-
like
you're gonna
his
bluff
jack
your ace.
has.
Yeah.
His jack, if you put it, it doesn't have so much equity, you know, and he
Mhm.
knows it.
That's a reasonable exploit.
Suited kings. They're not really a bluff, but
No,
They
kings are
block
not a
these.
bluff. They're weird. They're a weird hand there.
they're mergy.
Yeah, they're weird mergy.
They probably just don't want to face a bet.
Yeah.
Why they block.
But here we go. A hand like 8-6, which is nothing. So I think, so the lesson that I'm taking from this is that your idea there, and this was Dan's idea, right? Yep. But Dan's idea going for the bluff is a good one here. But the solver wants to take it from the hands that have no chance of making it.
I agree. This is a technical thing, but
Yeah.
I don't know. If you put yourself in the position with the jack 8, would you pay me if I bet you 9 big blinds on
No.
this thing?
No, I would fold. I would fold, but
That's
I
what
don't always have
that's
jack
what I was
8 here.
thinking.
That's the thing. No, you're absolutely right. But I don't always have jack 8 here. That's the thing. So this hand, it's gonna
Of
work.
course.
Yeah.
Of course, but the scenario would have developed differently if you had
Yeah.
something with the flash.
Yep. Am I just gonna fold a king to 9 big blinds? Of course I am. Of course I am. Yes, it's gonna work. All right. That's Larry. Mike.
Cool. Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh, anything more, Dan? You were gonna say? No. Okay.
What size did the bluffs choose?
Oh, good point. The bluffs. Okay, let's find a good bluff. 8-6. That's a monster bluff.
Kind of a lot of block type.
A lot of
size.
block betting. Yeah. They get him into the block range a lot. Ace deuce
Oh.
starts to push up into the 3.9 range, but you don't go big. The 9.8 bluff is not a common size. Ace 9, when it does it, I mean, it exists, but it likes this, it likes the block bet sizes of bluffs.
Block bet and like B60.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I give you this, Mike.
Giddy up. Okay. Threes in the cutoff is certainly a mix in the charts.
Mhm.
Probably depending on your opponents, you can probably raise it all the time if your opponents are weak. And should get to the ace 9, and that should be a flat here.
Yep.
All right, if we go check the ace 9, no reason to be donking here. And I'm just going to c-bet bottom set pure. This flop probably likes some larger sizing, and probably considering our hand in this flop, I'd probably go B50. I wouldn't just default to a B33 here.
Okay. Rainbow disconnected. So when he
Yeah.
continues, he has a lot.
That tells me it is going to like a big, like sizing up.
Yeah. Yep.
And then the ace 9 if it was a B33, I think you could defend to a half pot and larger. I think we have the back doors. Half pot's close, I think. I would just fold to most players.
Okay.
But to good players, maybe consider take peeling one here.
Yeah. I think you have to at minimum call to a 2 big blind bet here.
Yeah, to a third, I think we can peel.
And I think you can check raise also this hand.
Yeah, I think a check raise is a low frequency play that wouldn't be too bad, especially against somebody if you think they over c-bet.
Yeah. And again, I'm talking about to the small size. To this size, I think Ace is gone. And to the 4, we don't, I think we just fold.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, like I said, half size and up, I would just fold the population. I'd have to have a good reason to think to defend ace
Yeah.
nine to a B50.
Yeah, we're gonna look at size sensitivity when we're done, but he does the call. Oh, boy.
All right, we check the ace nine. When he calls that bet here, I'm just gonna continue to fire and hope his his range is gonna be top pair, maybe some 8x, maybe nines type of thing. So I'm going B75 or pot.
All right, and Larry's going all the way to the overbet.
Yeah,
All right, let's
that's
see.
probably a really good exploitative size too.
Right. He goes to 66, but at least he goes bigger.
Yeah, call the ace nine now.
Oh, yeah, easy. Easy.
I would not raise. And I would check the ace nine. And my pocket threes are going to go big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably pot.
Okay.
Maybe even another slight overbet. And then now the ace nine to this size, I would just fold.
All right. I'm calling here.
I think we can fold to overfold to triple barrels usually.
Yeah, this is, oh, he does. Good for him. All right, let's look at that size sensitivity here. All right, so our flop is 8 of spades, 3 of hearts, jack of diamonds. And we are cut off, if I remember correctly, yes. Yeah. Calls. 8 of spades, jack of hearts, 3 of diamonds. So the first thing we see is checking range simplification that Peak does all the time that we do not hate. All right. Pocket threes, always bets, and the size that it likes is big.
Yeah, look at your range. It just likes the bigger size.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole range being that disconnected is mainly doing that. And against this bigger size, the ace nine suited with a spade doesn't fold and does do a little check raising. Now, against the range that does the smaller bet, our ace nine suited, very similar. The amount of check raising of the ace nine is comparable. Why do we have, oh, and ace nine of clubs just folds. Okay, that's what it is. Yeah. Was there any other thing we wanted to see? Yeah, we wanted to see
Overbetting the turn.
the turn, right? Okay. So we're gonna call it the bigger size since it was 3. And say that, and the ace nine of spades does the call like it would. There we go. Now we get the something of spades, the deuce of spades. Deuce of spades, big blind checks. And now our pocket threes.
Yeah, a lot of overbetting. Good job, Larry.
Right. Yeah, 15 and 9, and the 9 is the no, not overbetting, pot size.
No, but yeah, look at the range though. The range is
Oh, the range is overbet. Yes. The range loves to overbet.
I think this is, yeah, it's a very kind of bricky. I mean, it brings in one of the back doors, but
Yeah,
there's no main hand beyond set.
right. The range loves the overbet. Super polar, and the threes is the one that it sticks in there. The eights get the overbet. The jacks block everything and don't get the overbet. Or even so the jacks aren't allowed to even bet pot because they block all the continues. The threes are allowed to bet pot and also the regular size, and the eights go for the overbet.
Maybe the way to think about the spot is that like our top of range, which is sets, overbet, and then we couple that with some overbets from our spade flush draws that just materialized on turn.
Yeah, there was some suit sensitivity on the pocket threes too. I think when we lack, so the heart club combo
Eh,
has the overbets. It's the only combo that has the overbet, which is strange. I'm not sure what to read into that.
oh, you mean that tiny overbet there?
No, it's like,
Oh, it's all over the place. I didn't
Yeah.
read the colors. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah,
It's got the overbet sometimes.
got the overbets because it completely unblocked. It's the one that lacks a spade.
Yeah.
that lacks a spade. There it is. Yeah.
Right, that's what it is. Yeah. Without a spade, without a spade, that gives him more spades, and we're perfectly fine if spades fold. And while our three of spades doesn't block a lot of his spade continues that he got here with, you know, it does block one of the spades from coming in. Dominic says just overbet everything in practice. Yeah, sure. Seeing that this is an overbet spot, just overbet them all. That's a fine simplification. The main thing we have though is don't bet small. And our guy bet on the turn 75. So at least he didn't bet small. Okay, there we go. All right, that was Mike. Dean. I give you
Let's
garbage.
see. Yeah, I know. I'm like, what's gonna be playing here? Maybe. Maybe ace five, yep.
Yeah, that's a good raise.
Yeah. And king nine defend.
Yeah.
Check. Bet. When do they have to bet? Yeah, five, but yeah, they can still check.
Yeah.
The value.
Yep, you got showdown. You've got showdown value. You've got the
But
back.
if they did bet, man, I'd be tempted to bluff with that king or check raise with that king nine.
I like it. Yeah. Well, we'll take a look if it does. I like it. We like that too.
Check, yep. Not good for a range. They might bet weird 73 stack. Yep,
That's
they
how-
do
I
shit like
think it-
that.
yeah.
You got the call.
Pair and a gut shot,
Yeah.
69 big blinds left behind. Yeah. He calls.
No bet. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Check,
checks.
check.
Goes
Oh,
for the-
turns it into a bluff.
Yep.
Hmm.
Come on, king nine. You can do it.
Yeah, you can do it.
You can do it. Yay, king nine.
It was so little too. You kind of
Yeah.
have to.
The eight. That's our classic.
Oh yeah, no, it's not small.
Yep, that's the classic bluff size, 75 to 80%
Mhm.
from population.
It's
Alright.
true too.
All right. Okay, up next is Bogdan, if you're back.
Yeah, I'm here.
I give you this.
Let's see. Well, kinda a lot of garbage. Not to say.
Yep, yep.
Okay. Let's start from left for 8.
No, it's gonna be this guy. Small
Oh,
blind.
must be this guy. Okay, small blind.
Yeah.
I'll raise it, to be honest with you.
Good.
He should call.
Mhm.
Okay, tricky place. I still bet 2.5, something like this. Or even better, yes, thank you.
It was big.
You have a heart.
You have a heart,
They have the guys to go.
but he bets big.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware
Yeah.
of it. That's the problem, guys. Are you
Yeah.
aggressive enough to overbet this?
Mhm. So what would you do with Jack six right here in this, if with faced in this situation? Because you would be in this situation. He raises 2.5, you call.
Mm. Yeah, it's call it, yeah. I'd call
okay.
it. I have a heart. I'd go
Yeah.
for it.
I do a lot of folding there. I don't, it's probably not right, but
I don't know, they can't represent
Yeah.
queens or deuces like that, you know?
yeah,
I mean, paying a raise from
Yeah.
pre-flop. They
Yeah.
shouldn't be here with any sort of deuce.
yeah,
I still continue the aggression from the ace-5 off, but I would definitely fold from that. I would definitely fold the 6-jack suited. I mean, we didn't hit it, so yeah, it's a
Yeah.
risk we have to take sometimes.
okay. So Dominic says on the flop that when when the guy bets 75 here on the flop, he's gonna overfold. And so am I.
Yeah, but we have to
Okay.
consider that
I'm not
we
saying it's
should
right.
be here with queens that aren't stronger than ace queen off, or I don't know, some king queen suited, you know, stuff like that.
Okay,
Right. Totally, Dominic. I understand that.
all right. So he calls. Now there's the queen. The ace-5 gives up.
Yeah. He's scared, but he has a better card and doesn't know it. I'll
Yep.
continue crashing here, like half pot, 6 blinds.
Yeah, yes, let's set up, let's start bluffing.
And yes, let's start bluffing.
Yep.
I would expect that too. I would
Quarter pot
expect
does it. Quarter pot does the bluff.
quarter pot as a bluff. See?
All right.
I would bet 6 to do the bluff.
Yeah, me too.
6, 7, something like that. Half pot, 60%.
But it worked.
So the MTT theory basically kind of works in cash games too, sometimes.
All right, here we
Thanks,
go.
Tony.
Okay, you're welcome. This is me. This is gonna fold around to the jack-9, who's going to raise. And the ace-5 is gonna continue. The ace-5 should be continuing here by calling mostly, not by three betting. The usual ace-5 three bet turns into a call here. And you've got, ace deuce. Let me see, am I remember that correctly? Against the small blind? Or is that against the button? Yeah, I think that's what it is. All right. So I go 3.5. In peak world. Small blinds raise. Yeah, peak world, we don't have the re-raises here. And in GTO wizard world. Button raises. Big blind does have those, and there they are focused around. Oh, sorry, this is the 3. Let's go to the one that I know, the 2.5. Yeah, there we go. Ace-5 does do it. Okay. He calls. I flop the jack. I can check call this easily. I check. He checks behind. There's the 5. So now I'm promoting my jack and I'm gonna bet it. It's easy when it's me playing because I know how to play. Wait a minute, bet that, bet that. Check. He bets, easy call, easy call. Good. 10. Check. And well, I think he should know that he's beat here. Does he want to turn his 5 into a bluff? Good luck. It's not going to work. He checks behind. All right. There we go. A plus.
All right, we're on my ace queen, ace 8.
You're whoever you want to be.
Should go fold, raise. Ace 8 should fold, 7 should raise. Ace queen, let me see here. With that profile, I just call 14-14 with 0-3 bet. I just call the ace queen. The jack 7 should fold, the king 10 should fold, and I think the 10-9 should call.
Yep. With some raises. That 10-9 should be mixing in some raises. But the 7's folded either because they timed out or because they decided it was a fold. Simplifying this, so ace queen of course raises, as you said. King 10 intelligently gets out of the way. He doesn't make the mistake. And 10-9 continues. Yep. Perfectly fine.
10-8-4, the 10-9 should check. Ace queen, this is interesting. This 10-8-4 here. I don't have the ace of hearts. If I had the ace of hearts, I would see that. I think this is a check without the ace of hearts. I think this is a check. Well, he bets. You bet small. He should call here.
Yeah, he bet big.
You bet big. 5.
Big.
That's a
Oh,
mistake.
definitely. Yeah, so no check raises now. Yeah,
That's a mistake. He should call here with this 10-9.
easy. And get screwed.
Get screwed. The check. He doesn't have anything. Nothing connected came out. I have the ace, so I should continue betting here. I would say since he called that big bet there, that means I'm putting him on a pair or a draw. So I'm probably going to bet at least 75% a pot here.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that's his best choice. He bets 5, but again, and against that size where he bets 5, where he bets same size, 5 and 5.
10-9 should call here.
Yeah. Yeah. He gets the extra 5 from him.
2 here, that doesn't connect to anything, is garbage. I don't see any 2 pair. So here I'm going to should I go pot here? Because what am I targeting? I'm targeting in either an 8 or a 10. It's got busted.
You're assuming 10-9 checks, and then we're on him. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm assuming 10-9 checks here. And then I don't know what my bet size should be here because I'm targeting a 10. So I don't know if I can go very high here. I would probably punk out and go 50%.
I don't think that's punk out at all. That makes sense. That makes total sense. Yeah, try to get it. All right. Let's see on this one. I found that one interesting enough. Okay. Cutoff is okay. Here we go. So we're going to be cutoff raise, big blind sitting there with the 10-9. So this guy simplified it to where the 10-9 is always 3-betting it. That is not I don't think that's going to be the wizard with a drop, but let's see. It was a 3-bet, right? He went to 3 initially. What was his size? His original size? Yeah, he does do a 3. So seeing the 3 big blind open from the cutoff. Big blind, here he is with the 10-9 suited. This is what we thought. Lots of calling, a little bit of raising, and he did the call this time. Great. 10-8 of hearts, 4 of clubs. So, just like you said, check range. Ace queen. Spade club. Lots of betting. And lots of big betting. Yeah. I didn't see that. I didn't see that at all. Anybody want to talk about why?
Why not, Scotty? I mean, if you don't bet ace queen off, ace queen suited, I don't know, ace jack sometimes. What do you bet?
No, I'm fine with I'm fine with the bet. I was surprised by the bigger size.
Ah, yes, of course, but this is, I don't know.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised by the frequency. I mean, I think what happens often is that
Go ahead.
in a flop that doesn't really naturally favor us, like if we were to go to natural range versus range, I don't think we'd be a favorite. We might be actually the dog. Usually we have a polarizing strat, right? So we check more often than this, and then we bet big.
Yeah, we're checking 40%. But yeah, I guess the really thing I would say is ignoring that it's ace queen. This is a large bet board.
No, well, yeah, I would expect this to be checked more often, but then have large bets at a lower frequency.
Yeah. Okay. Let's make one change on this guy. Let's change this. Let's take out the flush draw. Let's go 10-8, and it's 4. It was 10-8, 4, right?
So
Yeah,
so.
10-8 for suit.
10-8, 4. Now we're 10-8, 4 offsuit. Check.
Still crushing.
We're now all over the place. We have much less checks, but it's still a big bet board. So it's a board that has lots of straight draws, but no straights. And the top card is a 10, which is still within our offsuit opening range. Maybe that's something that's just happened. We have all these 10s.
I guess the GTO is just aggressive with strong cards and that's it,
Okay, so 10, 8 of hearts, 4 of spades, I believe was the board. 10, 8 of hearts, 4 of clubs. All right. Oh, you're gonna make me do that? You're not gonna let me erase one of them. Okay. He checks, we bet big. And here is our guy with 10-9. We do not fold 10-9 at all. We just call it. That's what the guy did. The ace of diamonds is what follows. We check range, and now our ace queen is happy. He was unhappy before. And he just loves the 9.4 size. And with the ace of hearts, we do some checking back. He bet 5, we don't love that. Which is the equivalent of 3.9 in this pot, I think. All right, and he goes, and with that, the 10-9 starts to raise against that size. And against the 9.4, the 10-9 mixes folds. So the 10-9 really disrespects the same size bet. And
Yeah.
Mike, by the way, was that Mike, in your sim, was that a 2.5 big blind open sim or a 3 big blind open sim?
2.5.
All right. It's a thing, but okay. It's a thing of difference. And then once we get to the river. So he's gonna do, his bet is gonna be closer to 3.9 and gets a call. And the river is the 2 of clubs. And the 10-9 is barely there. Checks. And the ace queen, which is barely there, likes the size of 23 and 17. $23 and $35, and he goes, okay, so it's happy to bet big. It's just happy to bet big against another ace.
You wouldn't be having a queen as a kicker. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I'd also be like a happy trigger,
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the other aces would be,
Yeah,
you
they
know,
would try.
for an ace to get here, it's gonna be, you'd think it's gonna be ace 8, ace 10, or ace 4. Ace jack, yeah, ace jack could be here. And then that's why that ace of hearts was so magical, because for him to get here with an ace that whose kicker isn't paired, it has to be the ace of hearts. Or is usually the ace of hearts, yeah. All right. That was A+, got that one, right? Yes. So we're on Dan.
Okay, so should I say for each one of them?
Yeah.
Fold. You should also fold.
I did.
Yeah, call.
Okay.
No,
And 9.
maybe raise. Maybe.
Yeah. Yep.
Raise on blind.
And the way, and in a raked environment, you probably don't want to limp the small blind at all. You probably want to raise, you probably want to do a pure raise or fold strategy from here in a raked environment. In a non-raked environment, then having a calling range is fine. And in reality, if the casino lets you, chopping, if they've got a drop, is the best play of all, is to not play the hand at all. All right. He raises to
Okay.
2, which is too small. What would you
Yeah,
like to do with 10-9 now?
I guess it's a
Okay.
check for both.
Yep, he goes for a bet and
I fold.
yeah, just fold. Just fold. Yep, there we go. All right, Tura.
King 3 can open.
Yes, it can, but I didn't.
3-7 out folds.
All right.
10-9.
Yeah, king 3 in the cutoff is a pure open. I should have opened this. Yeah, king 3 is a pure open in the cutoff. Right?
For me, it is.
Oh, no, it's not. King 4 is a the cutoff is mixing king 4s. This is a fold in the cutoff in the chart that I learned. It's this one. I'm doing the 2.5 9 max one. And so, but here we go. Cutoff. Cutoff. This one does have king 3 and no queen 5, which means the 2.5 should. So. Oh no, it's the hijack is the king 4. Hijack has a sliver of king 4 and queen 6. King 3 is 100%. I should have opened this. This is just a mistake. All right, so I make a mistake.
3-7 should fold.
But he doesn't.
10-9 should fold now.
Yep, he
And
does.
King 7 as well.
King 7 against a 2 big blind open from the button. I'm almost thinking I think he might be forcing you to play.
Yeah, wasn't that defending action?
Yeah, I mean, normally against, against a more reasonable size, king 7 is going to fold, right? But all the way down to 2. 2, you can't fold a king 7 in GTO world. Yeah, so good for him. All right.
Check. Bet.
I like the bet there too. He didn't do it.
I guess I would check again with the king. And 3-7 out start betting.
Yep, he didn't bet before. Now it's time to bet 1.
And I would call with the king. Or, yeah, I think calling is fine.
Yep, he didn't. So there we go. Dominic.
Hello. Okay. Let's see. So first 3 hands we can fold. And then 8s we just standard open. Don't need to think. I don't know why we use this size, but it's
Maybe
whatever.
it might be his standard size.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
not a standard size. But
No, I mean, it might be his standard size. He
his,
might-
okay, yeah,
he
his,
might be-
yeah, maybe.
Or he might be
Yeah, yeah.
splitting his range. We don't know in this context because we haven't watched the hands in order. These are
Yeah.
pulled out of order.
Yeah, the king 9 I would fold, and then queen 10, depending on if I have a read on this button. If I saw him raise 3x sometimes, and then he now raises 2x, I would just 3-bet every single time. And then if he just does it every single time, then I'm just gonna call. And then versus some regs, I may 3-bet this again like 15% of the time or something like that. But
Mhm.
it's really not a big thing. Just calling is
Right.
probably the best. And then always checking as this queen 10 guy.
Oh,
Yeah, we already
yeah,
get in
yuck.
in a stupid node.
Yuck.
Yeah, I'm just folding 8s. This is one of the worst hands we're gonna have here. Yeah, not much to say. We have so much better candidates here to
Yep.
continue.
Yep. Which also shows us why this is such a bad bet from him. He just lets
Yeah,
the other
yeah, yeah.
correctly. Yeah. Yep. Larry.
It's hard to, I guess Jack 10's gonna open
Hell yeah.
and small size. It's interesting. So Hero's gonna defend with 10-9.
No.
You might get a,
Yes.
well, yeah. Villain 99 should call. I'm sorry, fold.
Yep. And now. This is not a trivial one for me.
So this, I think this is I wouldn't squeeze this, but if you're gonna play this, it's gotta be a squeeze. This is not a call.
Good. It's a bit, good, that's a mistake. All right. We're all agreed that whoever this guy is making a mistake. Good to know. Yeah. Yeah, the weird thing was the raise, it had to do with the raise size to 2.
Like, if you look like a cutoff button flat, you know, that might give you an equivalent.
Yeah,
It's even worse though.
yeah. So the small blind flats it, and there I am. Ugh,
I don't like it. And also if you look at the small blind flatting range, it's gonna be. I mean, why don't you click on small blinds?
Yeah.
And we'll see what they're.
Yeah. He
It's
doesn't
just
have,
like,
he doesn't have this in it, but
well, I don't know. I wouldn't flat this. Maybe I'm tight as fuck.
That's a bad call from the small blind, but the big blind should definitely call it.
yeah, that's the GTO thing. I'm just not I'm just excessively not happy to be in this hand, anything about this hand, but
It's
it's where
just,
I,
yeah.
it's where
So,
I double dominated by both of them. The
yeah, I'm
worst.
surprised you
call.
thought this in GTO Wizard.
Yeah.
All right, going multi-way. Let's rock.
Blocking the multi-way.
So,
I got the best
I
draw.
wouldn't- I don't, this is not a donkable flop.
Yep.
This is a very interesting hand to have multi-way. Probably would bet with a heart, and without a heart, I think I'd check back. What a difficult spot here. I think I'd check back. I mean, in theory, I think king high flops we bet, but I don't know about multi-way
Yeah.
in this configuration. So, I think I'll check this multi-way. So he bets big. I think we also, in theory, usually our bets in this situation are small.
Mm-hmm.
I think we call once with the nut flush back door and an over, maybe, no, it gets his sizing. Gets his sizing, what am I gonna do here? Gets his sizing,
You're not closing.
2 back doors is not enough. I think I just let this go against the
Just let
sizing.
it go. Yeah.
Multi-way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
2
so
back
he-
doors and a over against that sizing in the middle of the sandwich is not enough.
Right.
This is awkward. It gets his sizing. I don't think you've got shots enough.
Okay. I think it is apparently. At the time, I thought it was.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't, well, it's enough. So, so you are beaten by ace 10. It's nice to block it. Double flush. I would really like a check raise here. I would check, and I think I check raise pure.
Right. So he has ace 10 offsuit here. So he still has a lot of ace 10s left. It's not like it's not
Yeah,
like
he's not devoid of it.
Yeah.
But he also has a lot of stuff that you can profit from if you do
Yeah.
check raise, like flush draws. So, yeah, this is an obligatory check raise.
Oh, I'd have asked, what size?
So. I think your size is fine. I might go a little bigger. I might go like. I might give like a $9.99 pricing. I might go to like 29 bigs here.
Yeah.
But I think this is fine. Again, I think we're better served by not talking about sizing as much as we do and talk about
Okay.
range versus range. So speaking of range versus range, this is an obligatory check raise because in theory, you're unblocking all of his value, right?
Yeah.
I'm blocking all the sets,
I'm unblocking all of his continues.
2
Yeah.
pairs. What did I say?
Yeah. You said all of his value, which is right. But I mean, saying in this case, we don't want to call value, his value against me is ace 10. I don't want to, I'm blocking what beats me, but I'm unblocking his continues. I'm unblocking worse, and that's great.
Yeah, I think you got a check raise here. I think
I like
I
this.
think your size is fine. And then. We're hoping for a good river. So
Yep.
what does he have to do here?
He could consider,
I think he
fold.
has to continue with an open ender, but. And also unblocking all your bluffs. I think if we put this in. It might fold. But I generally think you're really in a tough spot.
Yeah. I like your 20, I like your 29 better than my 24 because of the two flush draws out there.
Yeah, I think you just fold this. I might be influenced by seeing the hands.
Yep.
I totally understand calling here.
Right. And of course, the river is an ace, right? Of course, the river is an ace. Oh,
So what, how
Reverse-
does this change so this drastically reduces the value of your hand? We hate this.
we hate this.
Card. It's a really good blocker spot. I would choose a blocker sizing here. We might be putting ourselves in hell if he's a good player and understands what our blocking is not.
Yeah, this is,
He's not balanced. So, but I still think we block. I would block like 20.
okay.
Generally, I think blockers considerably smaller, but I would use 20. I mean, 15 maybe. I don't think I'd go lower than 15.
So is he gonna turn Jack 10 into a bluff here? He
We
does.
check and he shoves and we're in hell. And I think we've got to fold.
Yeah, we do, except that. So I'm totally with you, except that's why I checked. When I checked, I didn't check to resign. I checked to induce. I didn't want it, but that, I mean, I didn't want to make it, I didn't want it to happen, but I was opening this up. That's why I didn't bet or block.
Yeah, so yeah, we talked about this before, and I like your approach here. You say, oftentimes you talk about we have to understand what we're gonna do given his most likely actions.
Yeah.
And his most likely and this is very much a high frequency action, and you're gonna handle it.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, so we can do some range versus range interaction here
Yeah,
and understand what is calling your check raise on turn. Which I think is probably the most important question because we want to understand, we want to do some hand reading here.
yeah,
And on turn, obviously he's calling the flush draw. I mean, he has a heavily filtered range and essentially he's using the power position to turn his hand into a bluff.
yeah.
I don't think this is yeah. So,
Do you want to look at this one as if it was heads up? Because the ranges
Sure.
are similar. He has the Jack 10 and I have the 10-9 here anyway.
yeah, sure.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it in, let's do this one in. And we'll do it in peak, I mean, to see the range versus range, we need to be in the wizard. So let's, I'll,
Yeah,
waste-
I've actually got a subscription. I can put it in if you don't want to burn yours. but if
yeah,
you
why
wanna
don't you,
burn yours-
why don't you burn a wizard on this? And while you do
Okay,
that,
can you show me the,
Yeah.
okay,
Yep.
show me the full run out, please?
there's a run out.
Close, that's what I want to hit. Alright, I'll put this in.
Right, and you can't do it in, you don't need to put it in a two big blind sim. For the wizard to work, because I think I still have a 10-9 there. Cut off 10-9? Maybe I don't. Well, you'll see.
Okay, let's see here.
Yeah, just- While you do that, I will just check out peak that way. So restart. Cut off raise, big blind, 10-9 off, don't have it, would have to go, for that. So we're not gonna look at it in peak. Because my 10-9 suited also raises it all off, so we're not gonna be in peak, we're gonna. look at this.
Maybe if you change the sizing to 2x.
I don't have that in peak. Peak doesn't have a 2x.
Ah,
Yeah, so. So that's why Larry's doing it there. Okay, while Larry does that, we will go to Mike's next hand and then we'll come back to this one. Mike,
All right.
I'm ready, we can just do
Oh,
it. Wanna do
okay.
it?
Larry's ready. We're ready.
Let's do it.
Let's see it.
Alright, I'm gonna share my screen. Alright, so the stuff, I used to use GTO, so it's 2.3 versus 2. Big whoop.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. I like
I
that.
just aged myself by saying big whoop. Alright, so. Check here. Get some over bets here, just the purple.
Mhm.
Can you see the colors, Scotty?
Yep, I can see the colors. They're good.
I don't, what are we doing with our jack? So we're mixing with our jack ten. I mean, our marginal hand is mixing.
Yep. So he went big. He went 3.8, but he doesn't break the solve.
Yeah. So we're obviously, this is what we see all the time. We're mixing across everything. So what did he do on flop?
He bet 4, so we're gonna call it 3.8
Alright,
because the pot was a little bigger, because of the extra money from the
so
small
three
blind.
point eight and. Yeah, you're outie. You're just
I'm
not
outie.
good. You just don't have enough.
All right, so let's give him a smaller bet. I don't know why I did it. I don't know what it was about that, why I thought that was a good idea. Because I thought it was a good idea.
Now you're just pure three bet.
Yeah.
With the
Alright.
combo draw.
All right, 10-9.
I mean, we can still go through it and see where your check raises come from.
Yeah, because we're gonna have 10-9 suited. Now,
Call, yeah, we have 10-9 suited, good point.
Yeah.
Alright, so the queen comes, the magical queen, we think.
yes,
We're checking. And what did he use on turn?
he bet 9 on turn.
So we'll say P75 again, which is. Kind of in there.
Right. Yeah, he bet
He's all over the place on
he bet
this.
9 into 14, so call it the 2/3. 75 is fine. Yeah.
Okay, so. What are we doing with our straights? My argument is that we high freak. Check raise, we do.
All check raises. Yeah, good. And our sizes are, because we had a little discussion of that. Let's pop-
Well, we
put-
get shoves here. So we get, just shove it in his face,
Oh, good.
a 10-9 at the bottom. Let's look at equity. This is kind of interesting. Why would we shove 10-9? It might be. It's not that different, the equities, 88, 82.
Yeah.
So. I guess, my guess would be this is on blocking.
Click on it. Let's see if there's a suit. Let's see if there's any magical suit stuff going on here.
Oh,
Oh,
we're
it's
only getting here.
only
I
have the
guess.
heart.
Yeah,
That's why.
Yeah.
So because we also have the flush draw.
yeah, we got a combo draw
Yeah. And the nuts. Well, and the second nut.
up here. We're doing, yeah, I guess it's because we're combo. So, that's where our check raises are with straights. So for the, yeah. Top of range here, so we're just pure check raising.
And then
Just
the
very
pair-
quick, let's see what our check raise bluffs come from. There's been a lot of flush draws, I mean, double flush draws. 10-7.
Yep,
Open ender and a flush draw. 10-8,
same thing.
yeah. Ace-3. Over. Gutter. Flush draw. So those are the kind of hands we should be using.
Right.
So. Do we wanna see what happens? So we.
Yeah.
So he
We went
bet
to,
75. We do have check raises here.
And we did the check raise that was comparable to the 25 point. We did the 50% one and we
Yeah.
put it bigger. And it
And
won.
that, so you nailed the sides.
Yeah.
He had,
Jack 10.
I don't know if he's supposed to continue, yeah. It's
He's
just
got a
not,
sliver.
it's not enough.
Nope.
It's the ass end, right?
Yep, but he did it.
I mean, everybody, I guess, the way I would think about this is. Ass end, got the ass end, it's good a little bit in there.
Yeah.
So the question I would have, so he doesn't have this, so it's gonna change things, but, So he calls. And then we get the 10. What do we do with our straights now? Filter straight or mixing, right? So we're mixing all the aces are straights, but our original 10-9 does exactly what you did, which is check.
Check, yeah.
But all our nut straights, if you would, are checking in this flush completer. Yeah, most of the checking, a nut straight gets to bet a little bit more.
Yeah.
But, okay, so the question becomes, when we check,
He jams.
let's see what our equity is now, by the way. I wonder what our equity is with our straights. Should have gone down. Yeah, we're like,
Yeah.
this isn't a value, we don't have value.
Nope. We have bluff catch.
Yeah, we have bluff catch. We have 50%. Obviously, the nut straight is value, but still checking. We might fold this, actually. Strategy, we now check. He's gonna have, I would mention to lots of shoves here. Not that much, but he does at top of range, which is gonna be all his flushes. So when he goes all in, I think you're gonna fold 10-9.
Yep.
But let's look at all our straights. Yeah, we just 10 blocking something is folding, but all the other straights are all in. So. Alright. Anything else you guys wanna see here?
All right.
I will hand it back to the Scotty.
Okay. Place corner, sure. There we go. All right, and I give you. And then the one piece, the one thing about the hand from my point of view, what my thought process was, oh shit, I lose to an ace. Oh shit, I lose to a club. This is terrible. And I split with all the other nines. This is terrible. But when I checked, I did not check to fold. That was the one thing about it, was that I wanted to check behind because I wanted my life to be easy, but I didn't do the thing that we talked about is, well, let me bet to keep him from bluffing. I was like, nope, don't make money by keeping him from bluffing. You make money by being right. And so there we
Yeah.
go. All right. Larry, Mike, why is my computer doing this nonsense? Why is my-
Yeah, so we got ace five off in the cutoff. That's that kind of unusual one where ace five can be a raise there. I don't typically do it unless there's a nit in the button, and then I will. Okay, so we get it, and then it should go to the king jack suited, and I will just flat the king jack suited, and if it was king jack off, I'd consider three betting.
All right. He does the same thing.
He calls. Okay.
I'm going to lose some money.
All right. We go check. This is a
Oh, no.
he donks. And what is it? Like B50 too.
Yeah.
Well, interesting. Well, we've talked about Nuffle quite a bit. This player profile, what I'm looking at here, 3218. It kind of fits the recreational. It was a little aggressive. I would just follow a Nuffle pattern here, and I would call.
Plus, I have the ace of clubs.
Yeah, the ace of clubs is great to have.
Yeah.
All right, see what he does. And I would have never donked there. He goes B50. Now, if we're following Nuffle, we would be raising, and we would be raising to pot plus his bet. So we'd be raising to 15, 17-ish. And
Good thing I don't know. Good thing I don't know Nuffle.
Yeah, really. Now, the thing about his profile is he doesn't really fit. He's a little bit more on the kind of a loose aggressive as opposed to loose passive.
Yeah.
And I've seen this play from certain players, and he's 32. What is it? 18?
18.
32,
And
18.
are you're getting his aggression from his 18, or are you getting his aggression from his AF8, which is the thing that.
Yeah, just his overall numbers. I mean, it's only 28 hands, but he's not like a 38.
Yeah.
What is his C-bet percentage?
He's not a 33-7. He's not this guy.
Yeah, what is his C-bet percentage?
His C-bet percentage, although this is technically not a C-bet, is 50%.
So he's honest.
Yeah.
So he has a king.
We've only have two hands.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I probably would have followed the Nuffle strategy here and raised, and probably lost a lot more.
Yep. There we go. I lost 6 big blinds. 5. I lost 5 big blinds. I'm fine. All right. That was Mike. Dean.
Oh, hey, Dan has a question for you.
Yes, let me go back. I gotta Let me reopen the window. Here we go.
So
Daniel.
guys, from
Oh,
look
yeah,
this
yeah.
hand, the king jack suited.
Yeah.
I'm a player for like, I don't know, 3 weeks. I have made maybe a little bit over $1,000.
Mhm.
But see, I know that there are many people who are training and who are watching these statistics. And sometimes, usually when I have Brazilian players that I know that they are very aggressive and they triple bet you in any bet or so, I am trying to get myself like a fish statistic. So instead of opening with a raise, I would just open with a call. So I'm getting like fish statistics, and in this type of opposition, I'm just calling him and I call him again because especially they get more and more aggressive, you know? And as
Question.
the hands go, I just call them until the end, and then I give them like 2 hits, and from because they come always with many blinds with many big blinds at the table, and they try to influence and to steal everything, you know. And I just make a little bit of a fish statistic, and then I hit them twice, and they are like 30 blinds left, and easy job.
I want to clarify one thing. What you're talking about that you would open limp the ace five, or do you mean you're saying you would
With the
open
king,
limp?
with the king jack, with the
Oh,
king
with the
jack, I
king
would just
jack, you wouldn't raise the king jack here. You would,
no, I would just call it.
right. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, that's not even a fish statistic. That we think this is better play. This is not a good play by him. His betting out here. His
Yes,
better
yes, I
play.
agree, I agree. Only
Yeah.
check and to call with everything that you would try to bluff him.
Yeah.
And especially after he gets the second king and he knows he's sure of winning, that I don't know. I'm trying to make this type of statistics because I know that there are many trained people who can read them, and they would not expect to win a hand like this, and they will try to overbluff the pot, and you just sit back, relax out, and watch how your pot grows.
Gotcha. So what stakes are you playing at right now?
From his hand, from king jack, only to
No,
check.
no, no. I mean, how much? How much money on the table are you playing? Are you playing the 50 cent $1 game, the $1 $2 game, the 5 cent 10 cent game? What's the size of the game you're playing online or live?
Micro.
Micro. So you're playing like
I only play micro
Right, so like
tourneys.
2 cent, 5 cent kind of thing.
Yes, something like that. Yeah, it will
Okay.
come in each game.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to repeat it back to make sure I understand it. So the way you would look at this king 10 is you would call pre-flop, and then on this flop you would check, me bet, and then you would just call the king. Then on the turn when the king comes, you would check again and let me keep firing at it.
Yes, hoping that you're going to bet something in the pot.
Mm-hmm. So that as a simplified strategy for out of position, I don't think it's the best strategy, but there are advantages to it. The advantage you described is there. The disadvantage is that without having any raises, you're going to lose too many pots when they see bet too much and you don't have a check raise in your range. So you're going to be check calling all these good hands, but you're going to have a lot of weak hands that can't check call, and you're going to have to check fold them, right?
Yes, but think if it came like an ace or a 5 or something like this, that would lure him to bet even more on the river to turn me off, you know?
Right.
Then
So that's go on. Yeah. So and anybody else who wants to jump in here, feel free. My thought is that strategy is going to work well against a certain player type, and it's going to work well whenever you hit the flop with anything. You don't even have to have a king here. A 10 is enough. For the strategy you just described, that's a good way to play a 10. Check call, check call, right?
Especially against Brazilians, because they are really, really aggressive all the time. This is a specific type of player that I'm speaking, you know, the one that comes at the table with a big stack and just swallows everybody around.
Yeah. So that turning it, that way of playing against the overly aggressive players is good. But I think that by taking all the check raises out of your arsenal against players in general, you will have to give up too many hands that you would have been able to check raise bluff with your protected check raises.
I totally agree. Just against the overly aggressive players, and especially when they have also big stack, and they just show off or try to pay with weaker cards and catch them on the wrong foot.
I think that's a good
situation like this one.
I think that's a good exploit against players who are too aggressive. Does anybody else want to jump in on that?
But also aggressive players will call check raises too and try to, in
Mhm.
position, try to bluff you on later streets. Like especially if it's a flush draw board or something, and then you check to them, they'll try to like bomb out on the river. So like a check raise on the flop isn't necessarily like an auto fold for an aggressive player, and you can still get tons of money from them. And
So
like you said, you can
play the pot
still
even.
check raise your shitty,
Yeah.
the stuff you want to continue with that you would have to fold if you're not check raising enough.
I think Dan is describing the player type who c-bets almost 100% of flops,
Continues the turn.
continues all the time, but when he gets aggression at him, he's gonna fold out his air. But he's gonna keep
Exactly.
going without it.
On the
And
turn, yeah.
it's that kind of
it's on the
player,
flop.
that kind of player, gritting your teeth and hanging on with a pair is probably a good strategy. It's
Yeah,
certainly
it's somebody who always tries to steal even the blinds from the table. It's
right.
that one. You're gonna notice him in the games.
The
But if
one
they also
thing-
overfold, then you should just fucking check raise tons of stuff, right?
Yes, of course.
Like
Yeah.
7-8 or something.
Yes,
dumb.
you check. No, not check raise. You check call.
Yeah,
If he raises, you just call.
he's
You
taking
don't
check
show
raises
that you
out.
have something.
Yeah, he's taking check raises, not 100%, but a lot out of his strategy against these overly aggressive players.
Yeah,
The
you expect
the
them for a
one-
bigger mistake afterwards.
the one thing that I would maybe think about differently is, so your reason for doing it for how they play against you makes sense. The thing about saying I want to have the stats of a fish is I think that at the stakes you're playing, they are going to pay less attention to you as an individual and more about their overall strategy. So the overly aggressive Brazilian is going to play like an overly aggressive Brazilian, not based on your stats, but based on his play. So I don't think you need to think about he has a HUD and he's gathering HUD stats on me, because there's a reasonable chance that at your stakes he's not.
They are also analyzing the table, and if they see that they can make you fold easily or something like this,
Yeah.
they're going to use that.
Yep.
And after all, we speak always about statistics, but we have to keep in mind that even though it's a online game, on the other side it's still a person, and
Yeah.
you can play a little bit with their mind, from
Mhm.
the moves that you do. And if they see that they try to catch you once and they fail, and they fail the second time, that's it. You're going to have a cool, chill Brazilian at your table,
Okay, cool. Anybody else have any comments on that idea before we move on to, is it Dean, did you just take the last hand, or
Oh,
Or-
no,
that was Mike's? Okay, here we go. This is Dean.
All right, button raises. Can big blind 3-bet, or I mean small blind? King 5 ever 3-bet? Hello?
King
Or is
five.
it too low down there? You gotta.
Yeah, no, King five
7
against
or something?
small blind. It might have a little bit of it. Let's see. This is to the 3 size. Let's see with a rake at 3.
Oh, you bet 3 big blind? Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't see that
it was
either. I was
blind
looking
open.
at that.
It was a 3 big blind open. So button goes 3. Small blind, no, we don't do it at all.
No, too low.
Yeah.
But they're
Yeah.
a broken stack, you might call.
Let's see what he does. He calls,
Yeah.
which is
Big
what a
blind,
43-17 looks like. All right. Big
big
blind.
blind, suited. Multi-way. Usually it's like a call, I would think. I don't know about queen 2 that low down though, but.
Yeah.
like
That's
a
the thing
queen
is,
6, I would for sure call.
the queen 2 is going to call against the button, but does it call with that intervening one? So again, and that's for a 2.5. So if the small blind folds, the queen deuce, he doesn't, at 3, you don't even call the queen deuce. So now with the small blind in there, you definitely don't call the queen deuce. Yeah. So there's our change there.
Queen 5 squeeze.
Folding, we have And here's that example. Here's the small blind folding, and the king 3 and king 4 and king 5 play pure. They do some raising, they do some calling. You add in this call here, and these are gone. Much tighter, much, much tighter. All right. But this guy's gonna call it, right?
Yeah,
'Cause he's 20. Yeah, he's gonna
and
call
you
it.
want to get in with the fish?
And I would absolutely fold this as long as I was playing well. All right, good. So you got multi-way.
Check, check. Or I think just that too.
Yeah,
And ace 10 just is feeling like shit right now.
it really is. Ace 10 needs to, I don't know if he's good enough to, but ace
I
10,
don't know either. Honestly,
he should so fold
I
here
would probably fold, honestly.
if you can find it. Yay!
It sucks, but
The only guy who played
you're
the
just
hand.
gonna keep getting, you're just gonna have to keep calling,
Yeah.
you know? It's gonna be
Yep.
shitty.
Well,
He's not gonna fucking quit now.
Yep. What do you want to do here, Dean? It's you. I'm making you play this hand as you. What would you do here, given this action? And you can't say I wouldn't be here because you're here.
I would probably just check raise
He goes for,
or just bomb. That works too. I would go bigger though, but that's just me.
okay.
But oh, actually, never mind. I didn't notice that there was a one-liner out there.
Yeah, there's a one-liner.
Call.
I'm considering,
I don't know.
I'm considering,
He could just be already blocking outs with his eights or something, you know?
what if an 8 of spades comes? When the
Yeah,
guy
that
bluffing
too.
against
Yeah.
one of the eights that I need. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna
King
fold
too.
here.
We don't know he has the king of spades, so we don't know, you know?
He calls. Come on, let's have an 8. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. What
I
size?
would, me in game, don't tell anybody, I would bet 3/4 just because it seems like the bluff size.
Right.
You might be able to get called by stuff. Oh, wow. I
Super
would
cute,
never do that.
super cute. He goes super cute. He can't put the guy on king ace. That's not what he's doing. He's not afraid.
No.
He's betting to induce. And he got it.
Wow. And just jam.
Yeah.
He definitely doesn't have king ace.
No,
I
he
would
did.
never just call. But I
Yeah.
guess that just call is not horrible if you would end up just playing for a chop, right? If he calls.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes the solver does do that. Larry showed us that before.
Yep. There we go.
I think I would jam. I mean,
I would too, but I can
The few-
understand.
it's a very, obviously he's a very cute, clever player here, but,
So
Right. Call.
given this,
I would jam river. I mean, it's great if you get him to fold out. And now
So-
that you guys are supposed to have ace king.
Yeah,
his
small
profile,
blind definitely does.
given his profile, why are you just calling on the flop?
I think I would shove this.
What did you say, plus?
Given his profile, why are you just calling on the flop?
Which guy? The queen two or the,
Queen two. The queen two.
why is the queen two not raising here?
Given his profile, yeah. Now you could say the villain. You could say that you wouldn't do it because of there's a player left behind you. But
Mhm.
given that profile right there, he's a maniac. He's just an idiot. What bluffs are you saying you don't have a balanced bluff range against this guy? Well, because if you do, this is an open-ended. This is as good as a bluff you did.
Because because you absolutely don't
behind you.
have, because
You
villain
don't
knight
have
has
king,
all the
queen.
king queen that he needs to. He has king queen offsuit, so you don't block enough of it. And just because this guy bets out, you're not closing the action. That's why.
Right.
And he has nines, tens, jacks.
Yeah.
So I'll go with
They
it.
don't.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll say it a simpler way. In a multi-way pot, if you don't have it, they do, right? But it can also be a draw, right? So you've got something here. You've got this real draw that you're willing to play. But your raise here implies that you have it against this guy who was your initial raiser. He hasn't acted yet. He's uncapped. So that's why.
Huh.
Now starting here, it's different. But now your raise is frightening because it's a four-liner.
The eight's out there.
Mhm.
That's why.
He could easily dunk an 8 on the flop.
Make this blind
And
versus
like ace 8
blind.
of clubs.
Make this blind versus blind, and now your raise makes a lot more sense on the flop.
Mhm.
Make you the button. With a queen, let's make this queen 7 suited, queen 6 suited. You'd play that
Mhm.
against this guy. Yeah, so that would be the thought process. All right. We are on the immortal skate or die.
7 might have 7-8 too.
Yeah.
On a flop.
Yeah.
Off.
Welcome back, Skate. It's you.
He
Alright,
wants to fold everything.
time has come to open 8s on the button.
Hell yeah. What the hell?
Four, okay.
Hero
This has got to,
spicy.
this has got to
Sorry.
be because I've seen one of these guys playing it's got to be because of 97 has a V of 56, has been calling half the hands and has been calling bigger and bigger bets. That's got to be what happened here. All right.
Okay. So yeah, they're gonna fold. King Queen is the biggest V pip here, so yeah.
Unfortunately, he has a hand.
Okay. I imagine they will check and probably check call.
Right.
Oh,
But he
they're
bets.
donking up.
Yeah.
Half pot. Weird, but okay. I don't know why he's donking, but
Same reason he did it here. Same guy. That's what I think. Let's see if it is the same guy. Yeah, hero position. Same guy. And so we saw this hand. Remember, this hand went to showdown and he called. So we saw him. We've seen that he donked into 2 players with that king there. So we've seen this hand when this hand comes up. So there he goes. What do you want to do? You got pocket 8s.
yes. Yeah, considering the last hand. Yeah, I mean, we got a PO1, this guy, a person tends to be fairly aggressive post flop, but after the flop, not so much.
Now, do you ever want to fold 8s in this position? Ever? Are you even considering folding 8s? Are you even thinking about folding 8s to this bet?
No, because when they donk, it's not always value.
Right. So I would think about it. I wouldn't like to call this. And so if I'm going to fold any 8s, I'm going to fold the 8 without the 8 of hearts. The 8 of hearts here is a magical card. So 8 of
Yeah.
hearts clubs is much higher EV than 8 of spades, 8 of clubs here, because I'm hoping for a gin card of an 8. And now a flush can't come in when my set comes in. Plus sometimes I get saved by an emergency, river flush, which this time would kill me, but sometimes. But the important thing is that both of my set outs are clean. That's what's so important here about the suit. So I call, of course. There's the ace. He picks up equity. And it's on you, Skate.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, okay, I imagine here they're going to check because we could have a lot of aces on the button, as we should.
Yep.
Yeah.
Louis is here. Hello, Louis.
Yeah.
All right. So But he doesn't. He bets out because that's what he's like.
Okay, yeah, maybe he's thinking that. I guess that we block ace king to an extent. So maybe. All right. Yeah. So I think we should consider folding here. You know, there's two overs that we lose to.
Yeah.
It's not. You know, if it was ace of hearts, we could consider continuing, right? Even though we would lose to the fifth heart. But yeah, he refold.
Yeah, Tura is never folding here. And I would look at it two ways. One was I have to hang on again, grit my teeth and hang on against this guy. But the other problem is Mike points out Nuffle calls, which is I do get here with a lot of aces. So range versus range, I have a lot of very easy calls here. This is one of my harder calls, so I'm allowed to fold it. But I don't because I paid attention to the last hand. Great. I don't care what he does here. And he,
Okay. Yeah.
oh, that's so adorable.
Yeah, as I mentioned, he's not really that aggressive, especially on the turn river. But yeah.
And then should I turn my eights into a bluff? Should I try to bet them for value or should I check behind?
No, I definitely think he should check behind. I mean, he still loses
Oh,
to a
yeah.
jack.
Oh yeah.
So yep.
Yep. Yeah, I don't need to bluff this. So Dominic points out that the 8-8 is one of the worst hands we have left here. I agree with him. And that's why to fold it. And that's what I was saying is that my range can afford to fold these eights there, but we've watched this player play. So we are okay with calling here. You know, this hand isn't in isolation. All right. Louis, you're up next.
No.
Okay. All right. We'll skip Louis for now and go back to A+, you're up.
Jack 2, 7, 3, fold, raise. It's the same dude in Jack 2. Yeah, fold, raise. I expect him to call here with that Jack 2.
Yeah. And now we see just why we have to hang on with the eights against this guy.
7-3, he's probably calling. 36, he's calling.
Yeah. Should he?
No, not with 2 point. No, he shouldn't. With the
No,
7.
he shouldn't.
He should.
Yeah. We saw how much tighter that range gets when this guy calls. All right.
Man, what do I expect him to do? Because he likes to get cutesy and tricky. So he might actually check this jack. Or he could bet it. He might check it. We'll see what he does.
I think he's going to bet it, but we don't know. Nope,
Yeah.
you're right. When he has it, he can check. Okay.
Yeah, he has it, he checks. Yeah. 7-3 checks. 8 queen should 10 jack 4. You should bet this here.
Oh yeah.
You should bet this here, and it should be. I think this is about half potter, something like that. 3.54 big blind, somewhere around there.
So I'll give you simplification that you can choose to use or not. There is a three-way tool called DTO Wizard, and DTO Wizard was programmed with some simplifications, and they were on the flop in a multi-way pot. You bet a third pot if you bet, just straight up, nothing else. It's the only size you have in multi-way pots. On the turn in the river, the only size you have is pot and 2x pot. So that is a simplification of what a real GTO strategy would be, but it ain't bad. So if you want to default to that, you can. And then the more general term is that whatever your bet size would have been heads up, that bet size is going to be a little smaller when you're multi-way. And the more multi-way you are, kind of the smaller it gets. All right. He goes, and I agree with you that he should bet. And when this guy check raises, he should call.
Yep.
He's got a combo draw. He's got everything. He could jam for all I care at this point. All right. He bets. Our Jack Deuce is going to. He's not going to fold, but I don't think he's going to check raise.
He's gonna call. Yeah.
Call.
7-3 is gonna fall.
Good.
7, he's gonna check his Jack Deuce again.
Yep.
You should bet again here. 3/4 pot. At this point, he might raise, but he's probably just gonna call.
Yeah. We still have the two-way.
Mhm.
Still have a lot of equity to bet it. So
Yeah,
if he checked behind and realized, it wouldn't be the worst thing, but probably a
Mhm.
bet's better. Yeah. Bet's probably better. He does. I think bigger. Okay, and the jack is not folding.
let's hear.
The 10 comes.
He checks. Against this guy, given his profile, I know he's a calling station. I might just give up here. I mean, I know that you should bluff here, against a standard player, but he's so non-standard, and he likes to just limp along. I might just give up and let him win if he has it.
Yeah. I would also say that the 10 is so much better for his range than our range.
Yeah,
We checked a lot of our 10s on the flop. We checked a lot of our 10s on the turn. He called all of his 10s on the flop and all of his 10s on the turn.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we might have to give up. And we block the easiest fold in the world, which is the club draw. And we block the hell out of the straight draws here. So I think, yeah, I think we just have to give up, sadly. All right.
Oh, you bet. Yeah, you fold.
All right. I'm up next. This is a heads up hand. We can ignore it. Here we go. All right. This is going to fold around to the sixes. The sixes are going to raise. What should happen is both these guys are going to fold. What is going to happen is villain 96 is going to call with 3-7 offsuit. That's what's going to happen. All right. Good. And by the way, this is not the same guy. This is a different guy. Right? Because it was villain 97 in the last hand. He's left. Yeah. This is a new guy. And we only have and this new guy here, we only have 9 hands on him. But
Fresh
in
fish every day.
right, fresh fish. But in 9 hands, a V of 56, to get to 56, you have to play like this. So that's one of my arguments, is that when you see really out of line stats like this, even in short numbers, a small number of hands, when they're this out of line, it describes them accurately more than we've been taught it does. When they say, oh, you have to ignore stats when you only have, 20 hands on a guy or 30 hands on a guy, not when the numbers get this out of whack, says me. All right, so I raise, he calls, he's got an overcard to the sixes, he hits his overcard to the sixes because, of course, he should check. He does. I have an underpair and a draw. The more important thing here is my underpair than my draw. So I should do a lot of checking here. I do. Okay, did I pick up any extra equity? I did. That's good. He bets 1 big blind. All right, let's call him. That's easy. 3. He has 2 pair now. Let's see how big he bets. That's half pot. He still has 8s that might do this. I think I might call here for the 3. I think I might. Yeah, I do.
I call.
How sad. Yeah, how sad. All right. Louis, you're up if you want it.
Yeah, what do I do?
What you do is, so real simple. You say, you look at the hands and you say what they should do. And then based on your either intuition based on their HUD stats or how the general population plays, you say what you expect them to do and we go that way. So
A7 is gonna raise you, and then pocket deuce is gonna call.
okay, cool. Ace-7, this is a little too early for Ace-7.
Is
but
it?
Yeah. In a cash game, you're not going to play Ace-7 until the cutoff.
Really?
Really?
It's an ace.
Yeah, it's an ace. I know. Welcome to
You
cash.
can't fold it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, welcome to cash.
Really? What a
Yeah.
man.
I'll show it to you. All right.
Until the button, if
Here we go. I'll show it to you in 2 tools. Here's
Oh my
PKO. We were the low jack or the hijack? We were the low jack. We were the hijack. Here's your hijack range. Ace 10.
Oh, so close, so close. So just a few pips, right?
Just a few pips. And then if you want to bet smaller, here is your range. If you want to open to 2.5, which is fine, you'll get a sliver of ace 5
There
in
we
there,
go. There we go.
but still no ace 7. A little bit of ace
Ah.
5 there.
So close.
You want to go
Ace
even
five,
smaller.
good enough, no?
Yeah.
You
wanna
care a
go-
bit, naive, Scotty.
Yeah. You want to go as small as you guys go, where you just raise to 2. Now you've got your ace 7.
There we go.
Is that right? No, hold on, cut off. There. Now you've got your sliver of ace 7.
There we go. Now we're talking my language.
Exactly. But, okay, so here we are. The 4-3 opens.
That
'cause
one's
he-
still cut off too.
What should happen now? Yeah, and the cutoff, 6-10. 6-10 could open, 6-10 could open the cutoff in a in a tournament, but that's too early.
No, I was
Very-
saying you were showing the range that it was still cut off with the sliver of ace 7 at 2x.
Oh, this is cutoff. Sorry, hijack. Can't even do it in the hijack. Sorry, Louis. That was cut off with a sliver of ace 7.
He's so close, Scotty. If you're
All right.
gonna expand, this is where you do it.
All right, so anyway, so here's the 4-3. So what should the jack 3 do?
Oh,
Should fold.
yeah.
And
not
if he doesn't, that's gonna justify his VPIP of 60.
fold. Even then, oh my god.
That's how you get to 60, Louis. This is what we learn with all hands fake, with all cards
Hey,
face.
I get to 60 plenty without that.
Yeah, okay. Now, this is weird. What should deuces do?
Call.
think
I
so.
would get the deuce.
I think they get to set mine here. And let's see if that's true. I think they do.
Yeah.
So his initial raise was to 2.5. You've got to be able to set mine there. It's all this stuff that goes away. The deuces are still there, right? Of course they are. Of course they are. 2.5. Button raises. Small blind, as you can see, the jack 3 offsuit, a clear call.
Just a few pips off.
Yeah, a few pips off. Louis would do it. That's fine. There's the call.
Yeah.
And now after that, yep, all your pairs. Let's set mine. Let's set mine. Yep. Okay. So good for him. So let's see. What should happen, Louis? What should jack 3 do?
Fold.
Can't fold. That's not a bet yet.
I mean,
Now on the flop, he's here.
is there anything but check?
Yep, he should check. Deuces.
Check, check. And then 10-9, 10-6, 7. Two player. Yeah, I would see that. Would see that.
Okay. See that. What size would you like?
I think I would polarize it a little bit.
Okay. Good. So
Yeah.
you'd go to sort of
55%.
5, that kind of range.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a simplification here that we mentioned before you got here, which is given that in multi-way pots, we bet a little smaller, you can simplify your thing to that on the flop, your only size is a third pot, and on the turn, your only size is pot, and on the river, your only size is pot and 2x pot. You can simplify that and not give up much EV if you want to.
Okay.
Yep. So this guy has studied that. That's his gut shot. And jack 3,
Easy fold.
easy fold, and the deuces did it too. Yay.
I think it deuces have to kill one.
Yeah.
Do they now?
I don't, in multi-way, they probably don't need to.
Well, it's not multi-way anymore and the burden of
That's
defense is on
That's
him,
true.
so.
It's not multi-way anymore. Yeah. Goes away. All right, up next is Dan. Dominic says he doesn't like the c-bet the flop. So the button gets to do a lot of stabbing. Here. The guy in the backseat gets to do a lot of stabbing, and that includes good draws like the 5-8, the 9-jack of clubs. Those are all good draws, but it also includes some pretty shitty draws like the 3-4 gut shot with diamonds. So yeah, we have a lot of other draws to bet, but we're allowed to bet a lot here. So this is an okay, this is going to be in there some. If you checked it behind to try to realize, that'd be okay too. Here we go. All right. Dan is up.
So with the deuces, you could also open. I guess he's gonna open with it. With 2 blinds or so.
You could open deuces. You can also fold them here. It's optional how you play
Yes,
them.
you can also fold them.
Yeah, and he chose the fold. All right.
Cool. Then I guess he's gonna open from the big blind, and he's gonna make like two
Small
big
blind,
blinds.
3.
I also wanted to ask you, when do you decide to open with 2 blinds or with 3? Because for me, when I see that somebody opens with 3 blinds, I automatically think that they have a much higher value card, and it just makes all the table fold easier. So when do you pick like 2 or 3 blinds? How to
So
open?
what we've all, I'm sorry, did somebody else want to say something? Okay, so what we've all chosen is to not split our ranges, meaning that we're going to choose whatever our opening size is and build a strategy around that. The ones we
I
use
agree.
are 2.5 and 3 and 3.5 online, and in the live game, more like 3, 3.5, 4, even 5.
Okay, got it.
Because the live games in California have this big drop that happens pre-flop. They just take a ton of money out, right after the flop comes. So
Okay, so 2 blinds is not even worth it to begin with. You need at least 3 or 3.5.
right. But the important thing is this: whatever size you choose, you don't change it based on your hand strength. Otherwise, you become readable to people, and even them, they can adjust it. Now, Mike says against very bad players, whales, we can adjust our opening sizes to our hand strength because they won't notice. Yes. But the way we study and work on it is we bet the same size. Some of us are 3, some of us are 3 point, as I said. But in the
Also the guys in the comments, everybody's 3. 3 is the standard.
Right. But here's the other thing. When you go small blind versus big blind, you bet larger because you're going to be out of position. So you need to disincentivize them to play. So Jonathan Little plays this size. Jonathan Little plays 3 big blinds from all positions, except for the small blind where he bets 4 big blinds.
Yeah.
The way I play is I bet 2.5 big blinds from every position, except I bet 3 blinds from the small blind. And the reason I do those sizes is because those are the sizes that GTO Wizard uses, and I learned my ranges from GTO Wizard. We are extra, and Mike says GTO opening ranges uses, and then the third version of it is you can have a smaller raise size in the low jack and the high jack, and then get bigger in the cutoff and the button. That's also, there's a GTO solution for that, but I didn't bother to learn that one, so that's not the one I use.
Okay, because from the position you should already have higher opening cards, so you reduce a little bit of the blind theoretically.
Right, you're playing tighter from up front anyway, so you don't need to bet as big to get people to fold, and you don't care if they play along with you because you have plenty of good hands. On the button, you're
I
super.
get it.
Yeah, and Dominic,
That's a good adjustment.
Yeah, right. So there you go. But so when you're playing, you should watch the other people and see if they vary their bet size from position. And I make notes while I'm playing where like when the guy opens to 3, and it's the first thing he does, I make a little note that I say, I go 03 cutoff or 04 low jack. And I just put that note in. And when he gets to it, I notice, is he opening the same size from every position or different? If it's different, then I start paying attention to what does it mean?
Okay, that's a very good advice. I didn't really mind their opening and
so
the amount that they're raising.
Yeah, so we suggest to start learning, because you're a newer player, don't give off that tell of how good your hand is based on the size of your bet pre-flop. Choose one and learn that strategy, and then watch whether other people are doing it.
Yes, I usually do that. I just pick one size and that's it. I keep it for the rest of the table or so.
Yep, good. That's good. All right, so he raises there, and now it's on King Jack in the big blind, and King Jack in the big blind, if we look at his stats, is one of the biggest fish at the table. So
Okay, so he's gonna call for sure.
hell no. I'm gonna call. There we go. There's the call. All right.
You have the gut shot straight. And some little chance for a flush.
Yep.
Yeah, he should bet like 30% of the pot.
So he does. He bets right around 30%.
And normally I would fold the other hand, but I don't know what he's gonna do. But I would fold.
In position, I've got an overcard and I wrap around the queen and he bets small. That's enough to continue along.
Okay. Okay, he also has a good amount of blinds.
There we go. And then I get punished.
Yeah, and he should have a second reason to fold the other one.
Yeah.
You should have.
Yeah.
You should. Yeah, bet whatever he's gonna bet you something, half a pot, fish move.
So what
No?
his
He
thought,
checked,
I
okay.
don't hate this at all. When he bets the flop, he's betting it as a bluff, hoping to get a fold. And if he doesn't get a fold, he's hoping to get a deuce or a 6 or a club
Yeah.
to be able to continue bluffing. But when he gets an 8, he doesn't have to bluff anymore.
But he has
Now
value.
he can win, and so he can safely just check.
Okay.
And that's a good check on his part.
I was still probably gonna bet to not allow him. You see, you have the 8, and there are so many other overcards, you know, that have
Yep.
higher value, and anything can come up.
Yep.
And I wouldn't let him see another card.
But remember, a lot of the time when he bets this 8, he's betting into a queen. He's betting into my queen.
True.
So he's got to worry about that.
It's risky.
There we go. I walk right into his trap. That's the other thing that checking does, is it induces me to make this mistake against his 8. So that's why this is a good
Something like my strategy.
Yeah.
Of playing to check
Exactly.
and to
So
wait for
I'm
it
the
to raise.
Brazilian now. Yep.
And now it became risky for him again
Yep.
with the 9.
Yep.
No, I think
So Dominic points out.
it's a card to just for the show off. Now he should check.
Yeah.
He
Alright.
shouldn't be so bold anymore.
I've decided that when he called that bet, he had something and I need to
Yeah,
get
it's a good bluff.
and that's a bluff. And
Yeah,
by
it's
the
a
way, this
very good
bluff
one.
is pot size. This isn't considering the fact that this is considering the fact that there's some
And-
rake taken out. So this is a pot size bet right here.
This is exactly the reason why I would bet on the turn and not let you see the river, to not be in this position where he is now. See? And he lost when he could have won 6 blinds and to be over with the turn.
Yep. In this particular case, you're right. Probably over time, his play is checking the turn is probably better over time. But on this time, it worked out badly for him. All right.
Mhm.
Tura.
Sorry, I was muted. Jacks open and King 9 defend is a call. Check.
Oh, the
Uh,
donk.
I would start with the call.
So we don't like this bet here. We do not think this is a good idea. But there he goes. And
I
now,
would call a top set, but you can also consider raising.
yep. So if you had, so I'm going to give you all 3 sets, Jack, Jack, 10, 10, or deuce, deuce. How would you like to play each of them?
I would always raise the deuces and probably tens as well.
Good. Dominic
And I would call jacks.
And Dominic points out he doesn't like slow playing here. He wants to raise 100% versus the donks. They'll be too sticky on average. And there is a strategy out there Dominic called Nuffle, Nuffle, which stands for neutralizing flop leads, developed by Brad Owen. Brad Owen.
Brad Wilson.
Brad Wilson, thank you. Bart Simpson, Brad Wilson, Bart Owens, whatever. That one.
Matt
And-
Damon.
Right, thank you. And in that strategy, we don't raise on the flop. We're gonna wait till the turn to raise when they donk, and we're gonna do it with our whole range, sets, whatever it is. So let's see what he does. He can't play this wrong as long as he doesn't fold. There, he goes for the raise straight up. And
I would probably call, not sure.
let's see if he does. Nope, he just folds it right out. He decides that the gut shot is not good and that his king might not be good. It might be, but against King Jack, he's dead. And then what if he does get it, the queen, and it's the queen of diamonds. So there he goes. Dominic says, really like this, doesn't matter, WP to jacks here. I don't know what WP stands for, Dominic. Well played, doesn't matter, well played to jacks here. Okay, there you go. All right, that's what happened. All right, that was Tura. We're on to Dominic. Dominic, this next hand is yours.
I mean, okay, that doesn't seem complicated.
Nope, it's not.
So yeah, I check. I mean, 3-7, you can just fold. Versus reg, I'm just gonna fold, and versus some recreationals that are not. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't know. It's
about
really
4-7?
close. Like
How about 4-7 suited?
4-7 always continue. 3-7 just fold.
That seems like a good line to take right there. I like that.
But against some players, I'm gonna call 3-7 as well, because I just know I have a big enough edge post flop that I can neutralize it. But yeah, calling is not a big deal. I think it's fine. And then yeah, here this is just. I mean, like I said, I would check range in the small blind here, and then I mean, everything that I say is just sort of exploitative thinking that I'm thinking. So I'm gonna say, if I have a 3-7 here and I called, if I'm this 3-7 guy, and I see small blind check, I would always just stab, because I believe that population is always very rarely gonna have pairs here when they check, and I expect overfold already on the flop when if I stab here. So, as this 3-7 player, I would just stab.
So I'm going to give you the same hand. You've got 4-7 of clubs, which you would have played of clubs. You're going to stab here. What size do you want to stab?
I would just stab B50.
B50. Okay, let's see what he does. He just gives it up.
Then I'm okay on this spot. Yeah, with ace check, this is exact spot that I would be. Think we have a lot of options. I think just checking seems really good. We have very good showdown value, and we have some redraw as well. I just love checking here with these hands particularly. And then as played, I would always just double barrel this 3-7. Always, literally always. I would just bet turn, bet river, and expect overfold from population. Simple as that.
He just decided he doesn't want my chips.
Yeah, I mean, you're protecting your checking range, but I'm saying that population will not have a jack here that often. So I would just double barrel and most of the time just get it. And then here, we can either bet small or we can check. I would check, but I think it's very similar EV in doing whatever. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a block bet. I wouldn't mind a block.
Yeah. I think it's perfectly reasonable. I'm really not. It depends on the villain. If I see, like, if I have a tag and he's a little bit more aggressive in some spots, I would always check. If he is very passive, I would always bet. It really depends, like, on those sort of things.
And in this case, what you have is you have give me 1 second to get to the right app. You have this. You have old man coffee bald Jew is what you've got there. So that's what you're facing. And against that, you check behind. All right. There we go.
I
Larry.
mean, I was talking about the small blind here, but
Oh,
yeah.
it's small. Yeah, no, that's from
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Not the small-
Of course, I'm checking back the trees. Yeah, of course, I'm checking back the pair of trees. But yeah, I was talking
Oh,
about
you
the
meant,
HM.
yes. Oh, how the small blind plays against the big blind. Yes, gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Larry. Give you this. Larry's out. Larry 2, 3, 4. All right, Mike, we'll come back to Larry when Larry comes back.
Okay. I'm raising queen six suited here. Ace seven is a defend, and that's kind of a 3-bet or call in this situation. I would, for this combo, I would just flat, and it would also depend on the button
Right.
player profile.
Profile is short and handsome.
Oh, then 3-bet for sure, 100%.
My wife thinks I'm pretty. Okay.
Ooh, okay. Well, it's button big blind. It's not as much donking that happens, but this is certainly donkable. I would not donk this combo, so I would check.
And Mike, the high level of donking on this board is when the razor was early position, right?
Yeah, you get much more frequency of donks when they're early positions.
Because their ranges are so much better defined. Okay. Good to know. All right, so
So
he
I would
donked.
check. They do donk.
Yep.
My queen six here, I will be calling, never raising. Now that we've donked the a7 and we get this turn, interesting. I don't know if we want to continue on this turn or not. I would say our fold equity kind of goes down when the board pairs like this. So I might give up and just check. Although it also might be a good card to continue with.
Whose range does the deuce hit more?
Well, it's kind of neutral to me, but the big blind, obviously.
Yeah, it does, but we don't have it in this case. But yeah, I think it's a little better for the big blind, but it's so not one of the main donked cards for me that it just doesn't scare it doesn't scare the button enough. But he isn't convinced.
Yeah, and I think this is okay. I don't think this is terrible by any means. With our queen six, we're just going to call again. Our range is, if we'd have like a lot of overcards, but I mean, this hand we're calling for sure.
We have pocket sevens and pocket eights that don't need to raise also.
Ooh. With our
Living clean.
ace high here. And we've donked. This would be this if we had, even if we had a deuce and we've donked and donked and then led, the six is probably pretty bad.
Yeah.
Even if we have a full house with a deuce, I think we just have to check and hope for showdown.
Yep, but we don't have a deuce, therefore we have to bluff.
Well, we ace high too, so
We don't have to
it's
bluff.
not bad for showing down.
Yeah, not bad for showdown.
And now that we have queen six, it's the virtual nuts.
Yep.
We can only lose the quads.
Yeah.
So we're raising. What size do we want to go? I guess we want to get paid off by a deuce. So maybe I don't know, can we jam and get called? I suppose we could versus most players in the pool.
Yeah, we're also beat by 6-4, by the way. We're beaten by quads and 6-4. Not that.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, good point.
You want to notice that.
And that's certainly in range there.
Yeah, certainly is in range.
But we do block 6-4 pretty hard.
It should only be suited, and therefore he can't have it. Because it has to be 6-4 of diamonds, and that's not possible. So that's good to know.
So my only question is, can we jam and get called by a deuce? And I think versus most of the population, the answer is yes. So I guess we just jam.
Okay. I really want
any raise is good. I think you make more by getting the most value by getting it all in.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he called with ace high, so.
Oh, with ace high, but he probably wasn't calling the jam with ace high, so this is great. So that's I think that was masterfully played by the button, whoever that was, just masterfully.
Luck box.
Luck Fox. All right, Dean.
And 9 raise. 6s, that guy that equals a lot, he probably falls. He's not gonna 3-bet it.
If you're playing a 3-bet or fold strategy, are you gonna 3-bet the 6s?
Yeah,
Me too. Maybe not 4s and 5s, but he's playing,
I thought he flashed too.
he's playing a go for a set even in the small blind strategy, which is okay.
Easy call by Hero.
Easy call. Yep. All
Does
right.
he donk though? Is the donking guy?
See if he's a donking guy. He's a donking guy.
What the? Okay. Get it, guy. Snap pulls all around.
Yep. There you go. So, we've seen this. We've all seen this.
Somebody get called by ace-5 or something, you know? Like,
No, I think this is what it is. We've all seen this in game, right? We've seen people do just the insane overbet where you just go, what the hell is he thinking? And what I've seen is it's someone who believes most often, it's not just it's not a crazy outlandish bluff. You know, it's not
That's
7-9 here. It's a guy who thinks his hand is best and knows that the next card it will not be best anymore.
it's like Mergy because he'll for sure get called by better, but also he might get called by 5-4, 5 ace, or ace of hearts X, you know, with a heart.
I would say that in this case, he's not trying to get called. He's trying to get folds. And so, you know, he's pricing out every draw, and he
You
really
on
is.
the button with ace-5. What if you had like 5-4 right here as a hero?
5-4 maybe. 5-4 maybe. 5-4 diamonds, more likely. Not much though, because your backdoor equity is worth so little when they jam.
Still have villain behind you.
But yeah, I fold up. But yeah, ace-5, I fold. No, Dan you're totally right, Dan.
Yeah, for real, Dan.
This is bad play. We're not going to learn to do this, but we want to learn what they play when they do it. We want to be able to read this play, not do this play. This is a terrible play. And 30 big blinds is also unnecessary in this and is not good play. But 30 big blinds is way better than 90. All right, there we go. All right, that was Dominic. Right, so we're on to Larry. Or we're back to, that was Dean. We're back up to Larry if Larry's back. Larry's gone. All right, Skate. I give you this garbage.
Aces. No? All right. All right. Queen 6 is a little bit too garbage to open here. Offsuit. Okay. I would get on board with like a Queen 10, maybe even Queen 9 off. Queen 10.
Queen 9 off. Queen 9 off is good. Queen 9
Yeah.
off is good.
Yeah. All at the bottom. Okay, Jack 9. They could B versus B. Open a 3. Good. 6-8 offsuit. Kind of borderline. I think 6-7 off, 6-8 off. You may be able to call 6-8, right?
Small
kind of-
blind? No, you need, it's 6-7 and 8-7 here
6-7, 8-7. Right. Okay.
against
Not the
that.
gappers. And if you are having the choosing the gappers, it's going to be the suited variety.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
the suited ones, absolutely. 6-8, 6-8 suited, 9-6 suited, 8-5 suited against the
Yeah.
small, those are all fine. But against, but the offsuit variety is 10, you have a little 10-9, little 9-8, little 8-7, and you don't even have 6-5 or 7-6.
Yeah, they need to be connected. No, not gapping. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But he does it. He makes a mistake, and his mistake is not rewarded.
It's okay because we could probably still take it down with the worst hand. Jack 9, they open, so they should continue with something.
Does?
Let's see what 6-8 does. I imagine since they are passive, pre-flop, they're going to be passive post-flop, so they will fold.
No, he goes for the call with 2 overs and a backdoor straight draw to a bet that's not small enough to really justify that. He's got position, which is good. There's not a lot of deuces in this guy's range, so that's not bad. But to this
Yep.
size, he probably needs a little more than this.
Yeah, I would have much preferred a raise there.
Okay.
If
Now
they
he
are
gets to-
gonna,
by calling, he also gets to see whether this guy checks now, and he just steals it on the turn. He does have that option.
yeah,
Really
that
hard for
too,
this guy to bet again.
that too. But okay, now they check. Now he definitely should bet. Will he? I'm not sure.
I think he should bet now and on the river if he has to. Yep, he does.
Yeah, that was a game plan. Okay. Size is all right. Okay. To this side, Jack 9 has nothing going on, so they should and will fold.
Yep, exactly. That worked out well. Louis,
Yes. So nothing should be going on here, but I guess the button's gonna raise and the small blind's gonna call.
yep. So the button raise of a 6-4 suited is wrong, but it's not massive. Wait a minute, hold on. 6-4, yeah, 6-4 is wrong on the button, but it's right in the small. It's not massively wrong. 6-5 is there, 5-4 is there, so not very wrong. The A6 does it. Deuce 9 folds. Yeah. In the 2.5 area, here we are on the button. Doesn't do 6-5, 6-4, but you know. It's just a hair too wide, so. All right. Small blind, what does he do?
I would probably check range.
Good.
In position, probably against small blind, probably need interaction to see bet, so probably check.
Yeah, that seems like a good check give up because doesn't this range just seem like it smashes what this guy calls with? That he's got something in that range.
Yep.
It didn't this time, but it seems like he does.
Then after it goes check on the flop, honestly, I think it's a great spot for a small blind to just stab. He gets better aces to fold. But also like you probably want to have a spade in your hand when you do these kind of shenanigans. So probably just check and then check again, and both of them shouldn't be there. So it's like
Yeah.
nonsense.
One question, if you stab, what size do you want to stab?
It would be small, like you said, small on the flop and then pop on the turn.
Okay, cool. And then yeah, you'd love to have a spade in your hand to make this, but you also he does have some showdown value, so he doesn't have to, but he goes for it.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
That's good work.
But he gets better aces to fold.
Yeah,
Not bad.
that's nice, yeah. All right. A+.
Okay, King Jack, I'm raising.
Good,
8-4 should fold.
Good.
4-6 should call.
absolutely he should call. And should outflop the hell out of me.
Is there a donk range with that 9 there? Or is this just a check raise?
So your donk range is, 9 is too high for your donk range in general. And GTO has simplified to take out all the donk ranges. They've said, just don't do it. And you don't have much of a donk range against the button. You've got a donk range against the earlier positions that Mike pointed out. And the reason is because this flop misses, there's certain flops that just miss the early position so badly, but the button is wide. The button hits everything. The button has board coverage.
So in that case, would you want to donk range? Because you're flopping 2 pairs. So do you want to get money into it?
Check raise. Perfect check raise.
Yeah.
Check
Okay.
raise him, because he often has to fold, but when he folds, he often wasn't gonna put more money in. But you unblock him having a 9, which is gonna continue. It's great. So this is the happiest check raise in the world.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So check. I guess.
Check. But
He checks.
that'll teach you. Nice try.
Here I am leading out. I'm thinking a 9. The 10 kind of blocks him having that 9 because you would expect a bet there. 6, 4, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 8, 9, 6. Yeah, so I'm leading out here.
What kind of size?
10. I don't think that blocks that. 6 to 4. It's kind of does not. He has a wide range, but with that check right there, anything. So I don't think I can bet anything but small here. Quarter pot, 33% most. I don't think I'm getting a call from anything else.
Gotcha. And we're gonna run this one because I think that I can bet big here. I think this is, and by big, I don't mean over pot, but I'm thinking I'm betting 4 or 5. So we'll check that in solver and see, but moving on, let's see what he does. He compromises and bets halfway between the two. Great. All right. What should I do?
Well, you got 9, 10, jack, queen. You should block that 10. You should probably call there with that queen, that king jack with the 2 overs and the gut shot.
I think that's enough. I hate the club, but I think it's enough to bet. I mean, enough to call, yeah, which I did.
And the ace here. So is this 2 pair any better than a bluff catcher here? The club draw would have called on the turn. I'm gonna probably play this weakly and just check call. I don't know either.
I like that most. Because if you check, you induce me.
Yeah.
Now you just let me play perfectly. Yeah, you just
Yeah.
made. All right. Let's take a look at that one. This is gonna be button versus big blind.
Your range contains some aces that are going to have a hard time with that bet.
What'd you say? What did you say, Mike?
I mean, when he leads for this, this is really big, but you're going to have aces in your range.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Maybe that is the right size. All right, so here he is in the big blind with his 6-4, which he absolutely has to call. We get the flop of 6 of clubs, 9 of diamonds, 4 spades. He checks range, which is the simplification which we get in this. And if somebody wants to check this one in GTO Wizard just for fun, because to see if there is any donking on this board, I would not think this is a donkable board. I would think that we start donking at 4, 6, 7 would have some donks. I don't know if 4, 6, 8 has any, but I don't think 4, 6, 9 does. In general, we want a straight to be available on the board at the low end to donk out. And this is against the big blind. So if Mike or Larry or anybody who has the wizard checks that would be great. So he checks. We've got king jack off suit. We can do whatever we want. We can bet it. And the suit combo that bets it the most is, let's see, I've got heart spade. Heart spade is one of the lesser ones, and I did the check behind because I smelled it. So that's good. We like that. There you go. The turn is the 10 of clubs. 10 of clubs now, bringing in, and now let's see what his 4, 6 sizing is. Now he goes out and does it. So all sizes are right. There we go. So A plus, you and I don't disagree. We just made a different choice. Every size is right, including overbets. So the size he goes is the half pot size, which the closest one is going to be 3.9. And now against 3.9, does king jack continue? Hells yes, it does. Never folds. Never folds. Okay. Now ace of clubs on the river. here we go. No. Yes, you. Bet, call. Ace of clubs on the river. 4-6. Continues to bet. And his size is primarily no, good size. 8.6 for just the reason Mike pointed out. Yeah. It just made it easy for me this time. So he goes a little bit bigger than 8.6, but that's just fine. And that's where the bulk of it is, between 8.6 and 14. And he's right there. So well played by him or her or them. All right. We'll do 2 more hands and be done. Does that sound good? So we'll give 2 to the people who showed up latest. So skate, I give you this.
Okay. All right, as we mentioned, queen 8 is not queen 9, so we're gonna fold on the button.
Yep.
Deuce
But
3,
But he doesn't.
nope.
There isn't
Well-
by the way, there is not a sliver of queen 8 on the button, I don't think, in certainly not in the wizard.
No?
Yeah, I think, he's decided to stretch it, but I'm just saying, just to make it clear, it's not like Jack 8, which has a sliver of it. Queen 8 does not have a sliver. And if you're playing in Texas where there is no rake, Queen 8 still does not have a sliver.
Hmm.
All right, here we go. So he does that.
Okay, now that he's there, Deuce 3 is gonna fold.
He should
So-
fold.
Should.
but didn't.
Okay, and you, King Jack. Think so. Without the small blind call, you would definitely consider ISOing, right? But with that call there, you're gonna do more calling.
I'm strongly considering squeezing here. The only difference between the two is just the word. I was considering raising, considering raising my king jack anyway. So let's squeeze this. Squeeze away. Hey,
So squeeze because more, even more so because the small blind call.
yep. His range is capped. He's put extra dead money in the pot. Let's take it like that.
Mhm.
And that was a happy thing. All right.
Good.
And then Mike, did you bother to look at that, what the donk situation was there, or did you go on with your life?
No, I did check. I
Okay.
put it in chat. I put it in chat. I noticed
you
I
did.
made a typo. But yeah, it's button versus big blind. There was like 10% donking, and then once you go back to low jack, it goes all the way up to 70%
On that flop?
on that flop.
Wow. Okay, so that is a donkable flop. All right, good eye, A plus. That was better. I didn't realize that. Nice. Okay. Last hand of the day is Louis Philippe.
Louis.
So folds the big blind and nothing happens.
That's what we'd look. And so 10-9 on the
Maybe-
button is gonna open, right? That's what's gonna happen.
10-9.
Maybe 10-9 open.
Yeah, 10-9 opened, small. And A plus, here's the thing you'd be wanting to look at specifically while you're playing, and you want to do it at your stakes too, which is you want to be watching this guy when he opens to 2. Does he always open to 2 on the button? Not does he always open to 2, but does he always open to 2 on the button? And if not, you start to react to it. Tura, yes, Tura raised his hand. What do you want to say, Tura?
Nothing. I'm
Just playing with buttons. Okay, great. All right, Louis, so there we go. 10-9 opens and
That's it. Say they both call.
King 8 suited. Ever
I
ISO?
would-
Or just always call?
Personally, I would, but
Let's see
he
if it's
probably doesn't, so he just calls.
King 8 suited big blind versus button. I think that I don't think the king 8 does it, but something like, but like the king 6 is gonna, but the king 6 does, the king deuce 3 does it.
Yeah.
King deuce, king 3. And then maybe there's a little, yeah, I think it's just deuce and 3. Let's look at that. So there are some low kings that do it, but I don't think they're these ones. So at 2.5, we'll do it with this one. This is big blind, button raises, big blind. Yeah, he's got some down here and a little bit of the 6 there, and then up at the 9. So just not the 8. And then this guy actually did it to 2. So that might change it. I don't know this range at all. I've never seen it before in my life. At 2, button raises, big blind.
Not incentivized to try
Doesn't
to
bother.
steal
Yeah,
that extra money.
yeah. He still does it with the 2, but he doesn't bother to do it with these middle ones. They move down to the queen because these queens weren't prominent at all at 2.5. So that's what happens. That's where those limps, those raises go. We go back to 2.5. And, oh, I'm wrong. I'm just wrong. They're all over the place there. Okay. That's not what that range looks like in the 9-handed one. All right, so here we go. And he just calls.
Katrine or KS, Katrine Spang Hansen.
I'll call you in like 3 minutes. Okay, bye. Bye. All right, Louis,
Yes,
our last hand. What should king 8 do?
check, and then the other guy should bet a third.
Oh,
Oh, what the fuck?
oh my God! Oh my God!
Yahtzee just fist
Oh, what a great hand to end
snap
on.
call.
Well done, Louis. Well done.
Snap call.
Oh my God.
What is this?
Yeah, you just
What
go,
is
you
this? I
go
don't
find
have-
have aces.
Cool.
Yeah.
It looks like my 5-10 games online.
Oh God. Okay, no 8. No 8. All right, hooray. Justice. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right.
Same time, we'll do more poker.
Sounds good. Good game. Good luck out there, everybody.
Thanks a lot, buddy. Peace.
May the poker gods be with everyone.
So much
Hey,
stake.
hey guys, thanks a lot. And I don't know, for me, it's just a little bit more special. For you, it's probably a routine. But since what you're telling me here, I can just apply. And I'm in a pretty beautiful moment, where all the game unfolds itself in front of my eyes. And it's all related to how it works. And thanks a lot for putting the time and also listening to us and so on. Nice to
Welcome.
meet you,
Yeah.
everybody, and have a good evening.
Thanks for being here.
Good to see you. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.